it here. And that's not working. Why is that not bloody working? I hate computers sometimes. Well, apart from the fact I had sound issues at the start there, I will sort that out for next time. Now I've got to work out what I need to put it back on to actually get the game working. Well, welcome once again to Rise of the Runelords, Burnt Offerings. So we'll be interested to see if we find any bugs today. We're actually at a level of the rule set now which is almost deemed releasable. We're actually calling this Alpha 1. Unfortunately, the amount of changes we made the last couple of days means I do have to rewrite half the blimmin' core rules module, but it'll be much better for it. But anyway, as we left it last time, the players were celebrating the Swallowtail Festival and managed to save the day and defeated all the goblins. So as we join them now, well, we shall see, but now they're local heroes. Hopefully my sound will work. Right. Is my sound working?
It is.
Is everybody here?
That interface looks like you're headed towards Scotland as a function. That's another thing.
I'm here, and so's my wife.
Running. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. I just haven't heard anything from Jill's from birthday. A bit on the quiet side. But anyway, I do believe...
Oh, Jelsa just tried to speak, but we couldn't hear her. Are you on mute again, Elspeth?
I caught a horrible cold or whatever, so I'm here, but I have to minimize talking so I can breathe.
Oh dear. Talk or breathe. I'd suffocate.
Well, that's going to be interesting for Sparkle Tits, isn't it?
She's obviously, but she's a gnome, and they'd have different moods. Maybe she's in a very contemplative mode this week.
Tell you what, gnomes have got big noses. You wouldn't want to be a gnome with a cold, would you?
I do believe that I can't remember.
You get a bonus for intimidation rolls for that.
Aye.
Either that, or you get a voice doing voiceover for films. Oh no, in this interesting film, we're about to see the heroes.
Oh, of course, the squares are actually on the map, not... Okay, so when we left it last, I do believe you had just successfully fought off a bunch of goblins near the tavern, and there was a noble and his dog that...
he was all about Irina being some kind of stupendous sorceress with mystical powers of mystical magicalness, and wasn't she nice?
Indeed, which does remind me, I do need to do something.
The noble was flirting with you, dear.
Oh, is that the one whose dog I...
Yes.
Right.
Whereas Bert was off in another bit of the town making sure the goblins weren't roasting the cats.
I think I'm probably not noticing that the noble's flirting with me because I'm too busy noticing the dog.
I think. I think the dog isn't dead. It was just injured. I think you got there in time to save the dog.
It's pining for the lost coast.
That's so beautiful.
Well, it's looking for it's longing for the fjords, isn't it? Okay, let's see now. That would be name.
So you know, sorry, a silly question, but you know that little screen you've got where it says Adventurous Kit, and it turns to you on the left and items on the right.
You mean the parcel? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, the idea is you buy the adventurer's kit, and basically when you buy it, you just drag and drop that onto your inventory. You drag the adventurer's kit onto your inventory, and it adds all of that lovely equipment straight to your character sheet, so you don't have to buy everything separately.
Aye.
Oh, there are 4 unidentified items at the very top of the items list.
Are there?
Yeah.
Interesting.
The first one is from the Wondrous. They're all from the Wondrous Items group.
Well, there you are. Not sure.
They must be wondrous.
That's the fun and games of that. I'll tell you what. That is. I don't know where they started doing this. Was it fourth? I think it was 4th edition. Did it? I mean, obviously Pathfinder did it as well because their rulebook was in one place. It's like, why are the magic items in the player's guide?
Oh, a 10-yard rope is a wondrous item as well.
Well, yes, of course it is.
So is a 20-yard rope.
Yes.
I didn't realise they were wondrous.
But that's because they're magic items.
Aye, but
What you are seeing is the non-magical name for that item.
Right, I see. Yeah, I get that now. That's why I can see a gallon of ale, for example.
Yeah. I mean,
so you can buy there's a couple of things on the player's thing to buy, minor magical items like sun rods and matches. You can buy matches.
Yeah, but then
you can buy ever burning torches as well.
Yeah.
But minor magical things.
They're not on the list I'm talking about. This is the problem. I'm going to have to come up with a way about this. If they're just showing up on the players list because they're in the player's handbook, I don't know how to deal with that one.
You got ever burning torch in there twice. One costs 110 and one costs 110 GP.
Good. Whoops. What? What the hell is my computer? Right. Are we still waiting on Bert? Has he turned up yet?
He's logged in, and he's logged in. And he's trying to speak, and we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Bert.
I forgot to do something that I was meant to do last time on the session, so I'm going to have to, at some point, go back and watch my own stream because I forgot to do something. But anyway, that's by the by. So, yes.
You always watch your own stream.
I can hear you. I heard you, Bert. I heard you say problem.
Typical chair keyboard interface issue.
Oh, fair enough. They're always the worst. They always cause so much grief, those chair keyboard interface issues. Okay, so, where were we? Thank you. Yeah. Die Dog Die was the name of that encounter, which you have dealt with. So the noble basically picks himself up, dusts himself off, and obviously sees Serena desperately trying to tend to his dog. And at the same time, and she seems totally oblivious to the fact he's going on and on about her ethereal beauty and her sorceress prowess. And he's desperately trying to introduce himself to you, Irina.
Does he at any point mention the name of the dog?
Do you know what? I don't think it does. He will. I am sure he will have. He would mention the name of. I'm sure he would.
Mr. Wufflekins.
Okay, well, that's now the name of the dog, Mr. Wufflekins. There we go.
Hello, Mr. Wufflekins. It's all right. You're gonna be okay now.
It's the 7th tomorrow.
It is.
T-minus 2 days.
Yeah, that usually happens the day after the 6th.
Yeah, but
It
no,
does.
I just got a text just before I sat down telling me my 3080 titanium's turning up on the 7th of July, and I just realised that's tomorrow.
Ah.
Which isn't bad. I only paid for it today, so anyway.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
Rannick's looking around for at least a member of the guard, but preferably the sheriff.
The sheriff will probably be around somewhere, definitely going on with stuff, sorting out the mess everywhere. There seems to be very few goblins about now, but so Alden Foxglove introduces himself to you, tries to introduce himself to you again, Arena, or he's trying to compliment you on your impressive skills and your, as I say, your ethereal beauty, and as the glances around nervously looking for more goblins, he informs you that he'll be in town for a few more days and he's staying at the Rusty Dragon to the south. And when they get a chance, he'd love to talk with all of you more and perhaps reward you properly for saving his life. And once he's assured that Mr. Wafflekins is okay, he basically picks up the dog and smiles at all of you, and then carries off, heading back towards town. Yeah,
Hey,
into town.
Rainer. You're in there. I bet Goodfellow be right annoyed that the noble wasn't paying attention to him. He was after you instead. Maybe he's not got the right accoutrements. You know what I mean?
I'm afraid I don't quite understand.
He was practically drooling into your what's names.
See? Oh, okay. I didn't really pay that much attention.
Aye. Well. Now, did anyone else speak to any of their goblins? Because one of those little melanated buggers told me that they were let in by, well, he called it a Longshanks. So one of the people living in Sandpoint. Didn't say who, though. I think we ought to tell the sheriff.
I don't understand the word they say, so I don't really know.
Oh, it's not the most evocative of languages. I'll give it that, but it's got some great swear words.
Yeah, indeed. So, sorry, I'm just having a read here. By the time you defeat the Goblin Commander and you save Alden Foxglove from his fate, Sandpoint's battle against the Goblins is decided. The surviving Goblins flee north in droves, in some cases preferring to leap to their certain deaths off the cliff at Junker's Edge rather than be captured. Although you gather that several of the little menaces have been caught alive. But,
well, those buggers need questioning. Find out who it was that let them in. Come on, I'm off to. I'm off to find sheriff. Don't know about the rest of you, unless you're going for dinner at Rusty Dragon Arena.
I don't think so. We should probably see him at some stage because he said he wanted to thank us for the dog. I'm assuming he's rich enough to actually give us some payment.
Oh, not averse to that. Well, you're the boss, Dondrad. What should we do?
Why am I the boss? What I'm really kind of upset about is the fact of the whole burning of the church thing. How did they get in? How did they get close to the church to burn it? That's what I want to know.
Well, they got in because some bugger let them in. I mean, there's guards on both the bridges. The goblin I spoke to said a Longshanks let him in a different way. So we need to tell the bloody sheriff that some bugger in Sandpoint is letting goblins in to attack town, which is not a good thing.
We'll need to find out how they get into town.
Aye. Well, if there's live goblins captured, they're probably being taken to Watch House, and I expect that'll be where Sheriff will be. Shall us go there?
As you discuss this, you notice, looking around the streets, you notice that the streets seem quite empty now. It would appear that citizens have retreated to their homes to hide and recover from the day's horrors. Looks like this Swallowtail Festival has ended early.
Aye, bugger that. Besides, I've got to return this sword and shield. Took it off an unconscious guard.
Indeed. So, you can. It doesn't take you long to find the sheriff. He appears to have a few. He's tending to the wounds of some of his men, and he also apparently has some goblins that he's obviously trying to find someone who's good at interrogating goblins without actually just murdering them or giving in to them.
Dondra, would you tell him what I found out? If they don't mind, I'll just leave Sword Shield here in corners so someone can find it later. And Rannick kind of hopped in the doorway rather than going in.
What, do you want me to go and speak to the sheriff?
Well,
You don't like talking to the sheriff.
Farmer Brown and Mrs. Farmer Brown and Mrs. Brown always told me not to make trouble of myself when I was in Sandpoint because I'm an half-orc, and folks don't take kindly to half-orcs and such. So if I just keep myself to myself and don't be threatening, everything will be fine. I mean, when I'm outside of town, it's a bit different, but I can't just go in and talk to sheriff, can I?
But I just don't have the patience for people. You talk about things. No.
But you're a priest. I thought priests are supposed to like talk to people and stuff and do sermons. Isn't that what priests do?
Aye, but but no offence, but humans in that run about like toddlers. You know what I mean? They don't get no idea what they're doing. They don't wait anything out. They don't take 10 years to make a decision what you should do.
Hey, some of us don't have that long.
We best not rush into things.
Arena looks slightly uncomfortable when he said that.
Right.
Oh, you were quick enough to run into that church when it was burning. That didn't take you 10 years to decide.
But I had a lot to fall back on. Anyway, yes, we should find out how the goblins are getting in, and if let's go and see the sheriff and ask him. Can we speak to the prisoners?
After you, then, says Rannick, and gives Dondrad a firm shove in the middle of the back into the room.
Right. So, where is the prisoners?
Oh, you want to?
Sheriff? We go and ask the sheriff where the prisoners are.
Okay. Well, let me share. Let me reshare. So basically, you will fight that. That's the garrison there. So you're in this general area. In case you're curious, for any particular reason, monetary or meet anyone, the Rusty Dragon is way down there.
I zoomed out. Oh yes.
Yeah.
And but anyway, so you're shoving Dondrad into the garrison, are you?
I'm pushing Dondrad firmly in the back. I'll stand kind of in the doorway, looking as meek as Rannick is able to look.
Sounds good to me.
Every now and then, Rannick will look at Bert and try to kind of be more Bertish.
So yeah, I want to see the prisoners. And then we asked them who let you into Sandpoint, and if they say I don't know, you squash their head and go next.
That's a little on the extreme side, isn't it?
Why?
Okay, so basically they've caught some of them, but they're proving useless when interrogated. Apparently, the sheriff's complaining. None of them know much more than what you've also passed on. That some human told them to kill everyone in turn and burn down the place. But none of the captured goblins can even remember the human's name, apart from the fact he was one of you Longshanks. So he was you get that he was a human rather than any other humanoid.
So what?
They've eliminated 50% of the humans.
It must have told them something like why they was killing us or why
Let's
they wanted
see how
to kill us or
intimidating you
something.
can be to this little goblin here.
They can't count above 2, so I wouldn't put too much on it.
Yes, they can. One too many lots.
Exactly. That's exactly my point.
Let's see how frustrated Rannick is feeling. Oh, Rannick is getting frustrated. All right then, you little melon-headed bugger. You don't know what the Longshanks look like. But did he tell you what he wanted out of the place? Slap.
See how intimidating you can be. I think that's quite intimidating.
I was trying to be nice about it. Look.
Nice to a goblin.
Bad cop.
He was going to squash his head. I just slapped it a bit.
That's very true.
See,
Because we fought goblins and you still haven't
Oh
learned.
my
it.
word! Is this goblin got? Has this goblin's got some backbone? He ignores Dondred, but your intimidation is enough. You don't terrify him enough. But he basically goes, "Oh, okay. Think, snot blood. Think. Yeah. The human. He was on a secret mission. Yeah. Secret mission to town's graveyard. Yeah.
did you come up through the town's graveyard?
No. I'm not sure how they got in actually.
No. I don't know.
Airdrop by rocks.
Did you creep through the tunnels and then come up in the middle of town, or did you walk across the bridges when you came into town? You go across the wet stuff.
Do you know what? I cannot
There'd been
remember how they
guards on
get in
bridges.
anyway. He doesn't know.
The guards on bridges must have come across wet stuff. Maybe. Human let us in, and then he went to do secret mission in graveyard. Yeah, that's what he did. Secret mission in graveyard. Yeah. Graveyard's out back of the temple, so all the fighting was presumably out the front of the temple and other bits of the town. Is that right?
Pretty much,
Do you
yes.
think this was it? Do you think this was just a big distraction to keep us occupied while somebody went and done something far worse round the back?
Aye. You'd best tell sheriff that you've found something out.
Why? Is that like? Well, okay, if you want me to.
Let's see if I
Well-
remember how to get in.
Right, aye. So if
I mean,
the sheriff, I think it's all a big distraction. If you tell, basically, I think the whole point is they come in. Somebody hired them to come in and do what they do. So we were all too busy to the guards were all too busy to observe what's going on. So I wonder what went down in the graveyard. What were we missing?
Well,
Well, yeah.
Aye, that's not a bad idea.
So, we came in through North Gate. Yeah, we did. Wide open North Gate. We just came in. Yeah.
So you came in North Gate and you came over a bridge.
And we came in North Gate. Yeah. And
No,
then
you didn't. You came right. Okay,
well, North Gate is where you had that final fight with Alden Foxglove.
Yes.
But also left ladder by graveyard. Yeah, climb over ladder. Yeah, that's what we did. The secret mission, very secret mission in graveyard. Yeah, that's what we did. Yeah.
So somebody arranged for the guards at the gate to either be subdued or paid off and let them in. All as a big distraction for whatever they were doing in the graveyard. So can we kill them now?
Me, I came in covered wagon. Yeah, left behind buildings south of festival. Emerged and raced into festival grounds, and we burned and killed. It was much fun. Except there were many dogs. Don't like dogs. No, dogs nasty. But human left us and went on secret mission in graveyard. Yeah. No one's ever.
So what happens now? Do I kill him? What's the policy around here? He says openly. Could we have a vote? Would the
They're
human
not going to
have
ask
a
me what
vote
the
or
secret
something,
mission
then
was.
kill
I'm
him
such a
or what?
shame, but oh well. You could put a vote in, but
No,
I don't know.
You do what the sheriff says, Dondrad.
Okay.
If the watch tell you to do something, you've got to do it. That's what Farmer Brown and Mrs. Brown always said.
okay. Goblin goes. Can't breathe. What's going on? Can't breathe.
Officially,
Scrabbling against his
well,
scuttling at his collar, and he just seems to be in a very bad way. But that's by the by. You pass the information you have acquired onto the sheriff, and he thanks you for getting that extra information, and he's very disturbed at the idea that somebody let the goblins in,
Right, you have to go to the church right now and have a look at the graveyard because it's consecrated ground and we need to go and check it.
You never asked the goblin what was going on what the secret mission was. I was most upset.
Well, all he kept saying was there's a secret mission. I didn't actually think we were going to get any more out of him at that point.
Well, I just thought you might ask the goblin what the human secret mission in the graveyard was, but not to worry. He's turning a bit blue at the moment. He can't seem to be breathing very easily.
What is he getting? Is Rannick choking him, is he?
Rynick isn't choking him. No one's near him. He just seems to be turning a bit blue.
Is he choking all by himself?
Appears to be, yes.
Is somebody, Irina, has he been poisoned or is there some magic working to shut him up so we don't find out what's going on?
We
Magic
can't
is a
hear.
free action.
Oh, yeah, we can hear. I can hear.
It's just me you can't hear.
No, just you.
Okay, I said, is the magic being cast on him?
How would you know?
Because they can detect magic as a free action.
What he just said.
His collar appears to be glowing with slight magical effect, yes.
Tear the collar off.
Okay, you yank the collar off him and he starts breathing, going, thank you.
She also stamps her foot and walks out.
I'll be right back.
Was that Gelser doing that?
I'm guessing it was.
Right, okay.
Not-
Well, so what was it? You elaborate on what the secret mission is, or we can put the collar back on.
Oh, you be human secret mission graveyard.
Domdrad, he's going to tell you he doesn't know because it's a secret.
Yes, that one.
Right, well, Tavis has just spoiled it.
I just spoiled what?
What the goblin was about to say.
What, he was going to tell him that he
Can't tell you what human's plan was. It was a secret. He didn't tell us.
I think I kind of got that.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, well, congratulations by turning away the tide of goblins and rescuing townsfolk. You have had some, and you when you get some time to rest, you'd get an advancement, but you're not getting it because you've already had it.
Bugger.
Do you know what? I got a good idea to put the collar back on him, right? Because fair enough, I can't kill him, but I don't have to save
Give us
him.
a major obligation to the Pathfinder Society. Now we're Pathfinders, and we'll have an advance for that instead.
She also trying to kill him.
I'm trying to work out what your next advancement is.
She just doesn't like goblins, and she's messing with them.
Should Bert get an advance? I know he wasn't here for most of that.
No. Basically, because I gave you all an advance on Hollow's last Hollow. Yeah.
We've had one advance, haven't we?
Yeah. So, actual fact, shall I be? Well, do you want the advance now, or do you want and not have one later, or do you want not this one and have all the others when you're meant to get them? It's your call. I don't mind.
Oh, okay.
Whatever's easy for you.
Fine.
Yeah. Do you all know what you'd want as an advance if I gave it to you now?
Yes.
I know I will. Give me a second. I need to let Kirsten back in the room.
Oh, go on then. I'll be nice.
I'm actually planned out through seasoned.
Woo! Right, I shall all give you this advance, but at some point later on, you won't get one.
Yes, we've just got an advance.
I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll probably hold off. I'll probably hold off the next one. I'll hold off one so you get to seasoned at the right time, if that makes sense.
So we need an advance. Okay.
I'll be nice. I'll give you an advance because you saved sand points and you are heroes.
Can't start shredding it. Advances. I love advances.
And we've got to put them on our advances tab as well, haven't we?
A sandpoint, basically people are sent to the graveyard and everything seems in order as far as anyone can see. But as Sandpoint recovers from its attack and buries its thankfully few dead, the citizens do their best to get on with their lives. The cathedral is consecrated the next day during a subdued and indoor ceremony, but by the end of the week, the goblin attack is remembered mostly with chuckles. Now that most of the terror of the raid is over, images of goblins accidentally lighting themselves on fire, getting kicked by horses, or almost drowning in a half-full rain barrels colour the memories of the raid in a comical light. One thing it seems that hasn't been forgotten is that you guys were quite, it was the part of, you played in it. Something that happened, I forgot to mention it just now before I gave you the advance, but at some point you're approached by Amiko Kaijitsu, the innkeeper of the Rusty Dragon Inn. And as thanks for your part in saving Sandpoint and saving many lives, she offers you 3 rooms at the Rusty Dragon for a week as a way of thank you. That's full board, by the way.
Food's good there too.
It is. It's meant to be very good food at the Rusty Dragon. There's only 2 taverns. There's only 2 taverns in Sandpoint. 2 inns in Sandpoint. The Rusty Dragon, which is way down in the south, highlighted earlier, and the White Deer, which is near the North Gate, which is where, adjacent to where Alden was having the altercation.
Mm-hmm.
But you've had a week's rest to get you advanced, you see. That's why I decided to give you this one now.
Right, I see. Okay.
Which means any power points and everything else can reset any injuries or or fatigues or anything else like that can also reset.
So that all we got from that goblin was a secret mission in the graveyard, but we can't find anything in the graveyard at all.
There is nothing untoward that you can find in the graveyard. No, nothing outstanding. You know what I mean?
And no weird tracks or anything like that. Then.
I mean, there are tracks. Yes, there are lots of goblin tracks all over, but there's lots of goblin tracks all over the graveyard. But there were goblin tracks all over the place because there were quite a lot of them. They're all over the town, I should say.
Right.
But
we managed to get through the consecration ceremony. Hunky dory.
Can I have notice checks, please?
Notice checks from everyone.
Yeah,
okay.
From everyone. As you're out and about the next, one day.
In a whole more biological sense, could you make it for me?
Can you make one for Arena, please? She's dealing with a biological problem.
Okie dokie.
Not hers, Rafe's.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh. So Rannick and Dondred and Julsa, the others are obviously going about their business. You're probably being you're Bert and Bert Snookums is definitely Snookums is basically much loved by many people, and obviously he keeps getting people trying to feed him stuff and pet him and stuff, so no wonder he's distracted. But you're currently you're being thanked by a couple who apparently you saved their dog the other day from the goblins, and they just wanted to thank you because the dog means the world to them and all that. However, Jelsa, Rannick and Dondred, you're the ones to notice it. As you're walking down this street, you come across a group of children. There's about 6 of them, in fact, and there's basically one of them seems to be talking in a gruff sort of way. Another one's basically got some cloth sacking that she's painted a bright pink and is wearing it on top of her head. Another one sort of seems to have stuck some sort of cardboard behind her ears in an attempt to make them pointed. Another young lady, a girl, nice redhead, and 2 more appeared to have sort of tried to dirty their faces up and smear grass stains upon them, and they're basically stomping around the place. And you suddenly say you said so you hear what the one of them seems to be trying to stoop, so he's a bit lower than the others. And the girl with the pink thing seems to spend most of her time crouching down, and they're basically saying stuff to each other. And then it's very much a case of let's go hunt goblins, and off they go. It's a few seconds later when you look around again and you realise they're playing it being you.
Well, Jalsa will go over because she's kid size anyway, and she'll start laughing and clapping and go, "Oh, well done."
When they see you, they're in absolute awe. They literally stop their game and come round and are all smiles and incredibly happy to see you there. And they're very taken with you, and it makes their days talking to you, Jelsa. But a bit later, sort of mid-afternoon, you get a message through to you. I'm assuming that past week, whether or not you've taken up. The question I suppose I should ask is: have you taken up in that week that passed? Did you take that week up at the Rusty Dragon, or have you gone back in the evenings out of town to the farm? That's a good question.
I'm missing my game for you. Come on.
Rannick will probably be going back to the farm. And because our voice thing wasn't working when it was happening, with the children, Rannick, after Jelsa's finished talking, the Rannick will go over to them and say, "Now just remember, children, we're trained professionals. Do not try to fight goblins at home."
Ha ha, Jimmy, you know damn well what this is. Very amusing. Well,
and you're on mute.
That's okay. Just someone who
should tell them the truth, though. Just tell them the truth that it's not all about glory. You fight until the end of the days. If you're not fighting, you make weapons, and if you're too old to do that, you pick up what you can carry and you take a long walk into the abyss, and then to dying till you die. The end.
At this point,
everything.
At this point, you now, Rannick and Jelsa, you now find yourself surrounded by 6 crying children.
So I'm gonna cast my Firefly Protectors only as a cantrip, just to set a bunch of fireflies off among the kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That cheers them up no end, seeing little sparks of light and everything. But I will assume for the moment you because you've obviously been travelling back and forth and obviously can stay at thingies. You haven't taken up Amiko on her offer of the free week yet, but I suspect
that depends on. Rannick will have gone back to his cottage. That doesn't mean the others will necessarily have done so.
Well, it's up to you. I would say it's good food, and it's very good food there.
I think certainly if board is available, Rannick will take advantage of having some decent lunches and evening meals and what have you.
Well, indeed.
But when it comes to staying the night, he'll thank Amiko. Thank Amiko kindly and say, it's all right. I've got a bed back in my cottage. I wouldn't want to take away from a paying customer, so don't be worried about it. All right. The meal is plenty. Honest, it really is.
So I'm just having a. Anyway, sorry, I was just playing. It seems to be. I need to work out sort of in between. I need to work out how to get an ambient light in places so you don't have absolute pitch darkness somewhere. You're not having a good night, are you? Well, not you, but
we're not. No.
Are you still in the hotel?
We are. We get the keys on Friday, but it'll probably be another week till we can actually move in.
We're testing the pre-alpha release right now. Well, this is the alpha release. We're testing it now. Oh, that's good. Okay, so you get word through sort of mid-morning that Father Xantus wants to requests an audience with you via Sheriff Hemlock. So you get a message from Sheriff Hemlock that Father Xantus wants to meet you at the cathedral.
Where are all the part-used towels? Oh, you're starting. Thank you.
Why would the priest want to speak to us?
Oh, nuts, I knew I forgot something. Maybe I should change the adventure from this one. Not to worry.
Why would priests want to speak to us? This is your department again, Dondrad.
For what?
Talking to Father Xantus. I mean, you might not be that good with like people and all that, but
What did,
easy.
so what does
he's
he
a priest.
want?
Well, I don't know. He's asked to see us.
Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe he wants to help out with service and all for that then. I mean, that's on, except yes, on principle, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't know why they've asked for the rest of us, but I suppose if he wants all of us, we should go along. I mean,
I don't know, maybe they're running a soup kitchen, in which case the answer is yes, you'll be washing plates at a soup kitchen, so yes, let's go.
All right, then. You come in, Bert.
I think Bert will be right back, apparently. It looks like it's a day for everyone to have interesting times.
Yes.
Ow! Fuck!
So, if he's asked to say, let's go and get hold of him.
Aye. Let's go find him.
Plenty of work to do, do you know what I mean? I'm sure they'll find work for you to do.
And that's not from just now. That, because there wasn't enough room to get through. That gouged my arm.
Cool, that's a big scale. Okay, that should do. Sorry, I'm just realising I forgot to do something earlier.
Stop washing off the dirt and stop wiping it on the towels. You shouldn't be finding poo on towels. Take this. It wasn't from this time.
Not having fun, I can tell.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to mute. I'm trying to mute it, but before it happens, but I can't all the time.
That's okay. I am sorry. I am delaying things because basically, Father Xantus thanks you and asks when you all turn up. He's most grateful you've all come because he says it seems that there was in fact an issue in the graveyard. I'm sorry. I'm not on the right screen at the moment because I've just realised I forgot the map. So I was meant to draw one, but I remember I saw one. I've noticed that the stone door to the burial vault is hanging ajar. I suspect a goblin or something got trapped in the vault, but I really rather you came along with me, so I can appraise you of any situations.
When there says burial vault, you mean the one that's underneath temple, not in graveyard, or you mean one of the vaults in graveyard?
Well, he says, unfortunately, the sheriff will escort you. I won't actually need to come with you at the point. Sorry, Sheriff Hemlock interrupts at this point and goes, Father, I think you misunderstand. At no circumstances will you be going. I will accompany our local heroes and see, and we shall investigate further, and we shall let you know what the issue is. Basically, the vault in question, young man, Father Xantus says, is a small structure that stands near the wall. It's used to house the remains of the previous caretakers, priests, and acolytes who have served at the cathedral.
Who would want to break in there then? You don't keep like religious relics and that in there, do you?
No, indeed not. It is, as I say, it is just the... Oh, yes, because... Sorry. Do you know what? One of these days, I'll remember that Unity does things slightly differently, and even after you copy something into the images folder, that doesn't actually mean it's actually usable in Fantasy Grounds yet, because you then have to import it.
Well, listen, I'm sold because it's in a church, right? And it's the sanctity of the church. It's been disturbed. Therefore, we must go down and save the sanctity of the church, and that's it.
I'm just Sheriff. Did they say that we was local heroes?
Sure, you noticed that everyone's most taken with you, and yes, they're calling you the heroes of Sandpoint.
Oh, wow, that's something, isn't it? Does that mean it's all right for me to bring my sword and bow into town?
Please tell me you've got your sword and bow on you.
I can nip back and get them.
That's okay. He says
I don't.
he basically he basically calls a runner to bring a sword and bow from the guardhouse for you. And hands them to you. He goes, "Yes." That just
Well,
means-
isn't it a bit? It's a bit double standard anyway, because I mean, if I can carry a warhammer about with me, do you know what I mean?
well, yes.
I mean,
but it's
Okay, what is going on with what? A mess is going on with this encounter.
See, Farmer Brown always told me, don't take anything bigger than a dagger that you'd eat with when you go to town.
Oh, I'm going to cry now.
People might, because people might take badly to it, and it was a good way to make me, well, being big like I am and all, and people are always scared of me anyway, and I didn't want to cause trouble for town or anything like
This is
that.
why we play test.
So
I find all
so
the
I
bugs.
never did.
That's a huge one I've just broken.
But it's all right.
Vault
I think times have changed.
encounter.
Well, I know. I mean, I can see. I generally agree that. No, I mean that civilians
So I
should be
need to fix
carrying
that.
weapons.
In answer to the question, it was done. I finished the module
that
two.
generally
I
is a
finished the
policy,
module today, and then basically we
I
made a
don't have
large
a- I
number
don't
of
have a
really nice
problem with
changes to the
people
rule set,
until
which
they
means I've got to
correct
change
it,
half the
and then it's a
module.
different story.
It'll be much better. It's going to be much better for it. Very nice. But
I tend not to have a problem with people unless they're well doing wrong. I mean, like I was told as a lad, protect the weak from the evil strong. It's the right way to do things. I've never been an hero before. I kind of like that, being an hero.
Congratulations.
Well, in that case, Sheriff, shall us get on and do some heroing?
I'm too honest. I really couldn't care about the hero stuff. I just want to do the church stuff and to be left alone.
Well, if you want to be left alone, you're never going to get that dying in a war that you did once. I mean, that only happens to people that are very much not left alone.
Well, that's the point. Screw it. All I do is die in battle, defend the faith, die in battle, job done.
But also be left alone while dying in
Well,
battle.
do you know what I mean? I don't want but I don't want the just don't have time for the whole shenanigans.
All right, fair enough. You should maybe learn to talk to people. Mrs. Brown always used to say, diplomacy is war continued by other means. I never quite understood what that meant.
that should be. Ah!
That?
Oh, don't mind me.
Don't and Irina, don't.
Please
give it
continue
that,
the
right?
excellent role playing, which enables me to.
Well, by the way, so Irina shouldn't cut into this because their idea of warfare is you're happy to sit it out and wait for your enemy to die of natural causes, which I suppose is one way of doing it.
Why waste
Dunno.
time? Things sort themselves out.
I suppose if you sit about for a couple of 100 years, things will settle themselves out.
Changing of the seasons.
Okay, there we go. That's perfect. That will work beautifully.
Unless things get worse, of course. If you wait a couple of 100 years and things keep getting worse, well, you're really stuffed then, aren't you?
Things can't get worse forever.
So so as you're walking up to the boneyard, obviously talking along these lines, Baylor Hebbold, the sheriff, is obviously talking. He's obviously confirming everything as you said, and he's saying yes, sir. He goes, well, it's life is strange in those regards, and if it's good to have you with us. And I read his muttering strange waters, lovely. As you're heading up, he asks more about you, especially about plans for the future and everything. He hopes that you're going to stay around in the Sandpoint area and that he can count on you if he needs you in times ahead. And basically, as you get to the graveyard, he uses the key, the graveyard area. He uses the key that Father Xantus gave him to unlock the gates, and you enter into the graveyard area, and you head towards the vault in question, which is a small stone structure that stands near the wall.
I want it to be a small scone structure.
With jam.
And contrary to the map, which obviously because of the limitations of the art package that they were drawing on, where they're probably limited to 45-degree angles, the doors are only slightly ajar and almost closed. When you see the map, they show them quite open. Can I have notice or survival checks, please? Obviously, if you've got survival, make those. If you've got notice, make those. If you don't have survival, I mean.
Before I do that,
yes.
just let me know if I can have a reroll on it, if this is anything to do with the humanoid tracking.
It is to do with humanoid tracking, yes.
Then I'll take a reroll and see if I can get better than a 5.
Okie dokie.
So what we're looking for?
No, well, if
wow.
you got...
Both dice rolled a 14.
Well, okay. Irina made survival, so she noticed the tracks. Dondra doesn't notice anything. Jelsa made it on survival. So basically, everyone but Dondrad who notices, and obviously
Yeah,
all
so
tracking.
what are we looking for? I don't get it.
Well, you wouldn't
The ground,
face in that direction.
as you approach, you notice the ground around the scone structure. It's not a stone
Jam
structure.
first, cream
Exactly.
second.
Exactly. Reveals many footprints. The ground around it is churned up and appears to be many footprints. All of you determine that they are that they're goblin prints. However, some of them appear to be in the form of a larger humanoid. Rannoch, however, you determine that you're seeing the footprints of 6 goblins and 1 human-sized creature wearing shoes. It appears they climbed over the wall and then approached and entered the vault that the sheriff is taking you towards. You're coming down the path. They literally clambered over the wall. So
half a dozen goblins. Look, you can see this one here has actually only got 4 toes on left foot. This one, that one there, you can tell that's a different one. Can you see there's 3 boils in a triangle shape on right foot there? This one's got a slight limp. You can see where left foot is pressed a little bit further into the ground.
When Dondred and Rannoch get talking, Jelsa gets bored and she's going to go skipping ahead to peek through the doors. Are they partly ajar?
they are only slightly ajar. It's an easy enough task to open the vault door because they're nicely balanced and will open quite easily.
Well, while they're off there jabbering away, Jelsa's going to run ahead because that's what he does.
Did I make a Sheriff Hemlock NPC, I wonder?
From the tread on the shoes, can I get an idea of
Yes, I did.
how well made the shoes are?
How long's it been since the battle, by the way?
Over a week. You've got your PowerPoints.
Right.
Okay. Sheriff Hemlock should have been with you, so I'll pop him on the map. As Jelsa goes skipping ahead and everyone else talking, what a huge amount of acceptance here. Hang on, Dondred, you can't advance. But Rannoch's talking to you. The sheriff tries to stop Jelsa. The sheriff looks up. He's been listening to. He looks up, notices Jelsa skipped over to open the doors, and just as he says, "I do think we could be a bit cautious about this." Jelsa opens the doors.
Rannoch and Donrad were next.
Back up!
Rannoch and Donrad were actually discussing the tracks, so we should be at least on the line of the tracks.
Okay. At which point, as the doors open, undead skeletons pour forth through the open doors.
So anyway, what you were saying about toe prints, did you hear that scream?
Dodgered.
I need a
I think that Jelsa deserves a Benny for that rather big screaming while she's got a sore throat.
You need a Snookums, don't you?
Have no Schnookums.
You have. Let's go and find out what she's got her knickers in a twist.
Bloody hell, Sparkle Tits, will you stop sticking your fingers where they don't belong?
Okay, we have it. I'm going to actually step to there if it's possible. Are there doors in the way? Or just basically, I wanna
Yes,
get-
those doors are in the way there, yes.
Wow, the combat tracker has got 3 2s in it.
Basically, what I want to do is end up next to her then.
Well, it did have.
Yeah, I know
So
it did
can I-
that.
Can I attack? Can I still attack them around that door? Or is she in the way?
Well, basically, you'll either have to let them come to you or wade in over Jelsa, yes.
Let's wade in over Jelsa.
What I shall do is move Jelsa half up an inch so you can both get there to there.
I don't think waiting for Jelsa is in the commandments of Gunrun. I don't think you just attack. Right. So. Yes, let's attack and think about it later.
Rannick just got a joker.
She doesn't growl.
Oh, hang on. I've just realised we should be on special effects. Here we go. Not sure what special effects you get on this one, but there's some special effects. Oh, disturbing wind. And what was that? And chairs and bumps. Okay. Should have done that before you opened it. So, Dondrad, you... Okay,
I run up and I shake the first skeleton. I'm trying to attract their attention into attacking me rather than Jelsa.
Okay, you shake the first skeleton. Okay, that brings... Don't forget, Rannick, you have the Joker, so you can act at any time. Irina.
I'm going to interrupt now.
Okay.
And I would like to come round here, see if I can see from there the skeletons, which I can. I'm going to do a multi-action, move there, push Jelsa out the way as my first action.
Go on then.
So that's opposed strength.
No, it didn't roll Jelsa's strength.
It didn't, and I dropped the dice on her and everything. Should have targeted.
Do you know what? It would appear gnomes can be quite stubborn when they want to.
Yeah, you can grab down your arm as hanging out for dear life. I found him first.
Get out of the way, you bloody hell! In which case, yeah, well, I'll give up like holding onto a leg and yanking it. Pull the other one; it's got bloody bells on, and you know what? I'm going to throw my shield at the skeleton that's next to Jelsa as an athletics test. I'll even spend a penny on it. And that didn't target the skeleton either, did it?
Yes.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Well, that could have been right in the kisser.
You shake the skeleton.
I shake the skeleton and de-shield myself.
And I assume you're making it vulnerable as well?
I will. I was actually going to make it distracted.
Because you can't. That's the only problem, isn't it? When you shake it, you can't pick. Arena. So we have 2 shaken skeletons. I cast Entangle on all of them, causing the ivy growing on the building to grow around the door. Oh, nice. Entangle on all 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could use a template for that.
I will show you the template.
Mm-hmm. In fact, I don't think you don't. I don't think you get the choice to actually do it on additional targets, do you? It is one or template.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that template will do it.
I'm pretty sure it does. So you are there. You're targeting that one and 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 that one. And to be pedantic, you obviously went to there before you cast it, obviously, so you could see through the doors.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's going to cost you four power points. Are you doing any other stuff on top of that?
Oops, went the wrong way.
You adding tough? You said tough.
I've added, yeah, we included that in the 4 power points. No, I think that should be fine.
Okay.
I'll tie them up, other people can take them down.
So you didn't get the raise, so they're all entangled at toughness 8. Okay, is Amber doing anything?
Yeah, she's going to hide in that bush.
Very sensible. Okay, human skeleton number 1 remains shaken. Human skeleton number 2 remains shaken. Human skeleton number 3 is entangled, so it's going to try and use its claws to cut itself loose from the vines, and it's going to fail miserably. Human skeleton number 4 will attempt to pull itself free instead, which it does. So it is no longer entangled. Human skeleton number 5 will do the same thing and fail miserably. Human skeleton number 6, they're only entangled, they're not bound, aren't they? So it's actually going to, even though it's entangled, it's going to push itself to the front and attack Jelsa. But obviously the vines are pulling back at it and it really can't get out of there properly. And that brings us to Jelsa.
Because he just attacked me, I can't move without taking another attack. I don't want to move back far.
It would get a free attack on you if you attempted to move back, but it is entangled.
Handshake.
Right, because I only want to take a step back. Get my
It'll still get to hit you.
I'll get to try.
It can try, but it will miss.
And go.
So you take a step back.
Yeah, I will, before I go.
Like these things, this smells bad. How many do I all of them, or do I miss some of these up front?
Go for it. It's interesting. The desecrated vault is full approaching it, and the sound effects don't make any sense for that one, but it doesn't matter. Okay,
Yeah,
I get the impression these.
What?
Bloody seagulls. Ate them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right.
Two more should have been hit by that. Because they're all under the air effect. Okay, roll that damage. Okay, first one is unharmed. Second one is shaken. Unharmed. And shaken. And 2 more rolls. I'll apply them manually because they're not. Yeah, there we go. That isn't on that one. That 9. Oh, now it does it on all. I love the way now it rolls on all of them. Okay, that one's hit and is incapacitated. Down it goes in a crash. And the last one is not hurt at all. So there we go.
Take the one right in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
I've already moved back, so I'm going to move back a little bit more.
Okay, that brings us to Bert.
Okay, Bert is going to shoot one of them with his bow.
Please do.
Looks like number 6 is unshaken, so I will whack him.
I really wish I could draw because I'd make little piles of bones for when you'd kill a skeleton. I want to add some defeated colours for this, but I have the artistic integrity of a colourblind hedgehog. You hit, but your arrow doesn't damage the skeleton.
Yeah, passed right through the ribs. And then I will turn to Snookums and say, yes, I know they're bones and you're not a doggy, but you need to go and smack the skeletons. And then Snookums will go ahead and pounce on the same one.
Okay, so I did ask to have pounce added as an effect, and I was told just make it a sub attack.
Okay. And it's points, huh? Okay.
It's points. It's points now, isn't it? So you just what you do is obviously you still do a wild attack, but you just add a damage +2 to the pounce attack, if that makes sense.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Yep. So there we are. So now pounce is a sub attack for Snookums.
And wild attack. Am I in the right? I can never remember if it's under the effects or under the modifiers.
Effects.
I've still got a scanner somewhere. I think I can. We'll certainly give it a go. Oh, I've already done wild attack. Sorry, don't worry. Sorry. Snookums is not visible on the combat tracker. There we go. Actually, have you seen that? Have you seen? There's a YouTube video where a model painter.
Snookums will spend one of his bennies to re-roll that. That
was
was
a pair of glasses that doesn't let him see what colours he's really painting, and then so he just paints the models. It's really interesting.
The pounce did not. Is it supposed to be at damage or?
At damage is incoming damage.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. You know what I did? I left out. I left out that. Let me just try that.
That's what I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I left out. Yeah, it's when you do this attack, add 2 damage. So, okay. You're going to spend one of Snookums' bennies?
Yeah. Snookums is going to spend his bennies to get rid of the snake eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then basically he did the 10 points of damage, which incapacitates that skeleton, and down it goes.
And I think Snookums will stay right there. That's a good tactical position to be in.
Okie dokie. Sheriff Heblock. Well, he's going to come advancing up here. He's not really going to be able to do much. So he's going to take up position next to Bert. He's going to fire his masterwork crossbow at one of the skeletons. And he's going to hit.
Nice one. Right into sternum.
And it basically shatters, the skeleton shatters into a pile of blood splat because I don't have pretty bone icons. Okay. Next round, and Donjad is first.
Interesting. Yes, okay. It's still fine, but eyes are offensive.
Under a bed, I imagine, or on the
We can stop the sound effects for now.
So you have no eyes, but eyes find offensive. I pluck them out.
Okay, you are blinding them. And you have targeted them.
Yes, so
they get so victims -2 to hang on. Automatically try to shake off as a free action at the end of the following turn. So you automatically trait them -2.
Trait -2, figure to shake off. Ding 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 ding.
Ding 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 ding. Okay. Human skeleton number 1 remains shaken. Human skeleton number 3 remains shaken. Well, I'm having fun here, aren't I? Human skeleton number 4 is the one who escaped last turn, so it comes advancing forwards and attacks Dondrad.
Not that it matters in this particular instance, but for some reason it is applying the -4 to the blind as well, it looks like. Or am I just seeing that wrong? No, I'm just seeing that wrong. Never mind.
It was human skeleton 4, I think. It hits It's a hit, even though it can't see where Donjad is, it just attacks the sense of life it can feel in front of it. And Donjad is shaken by the blow from the skeleton. And Sheriff Hemlock reloads his crossbow. But...
Okay, Bert will go ahead and shoot the one that just attacked Dondrad.
Okay. I shall target him for you. There we go. Got something nice like that. That's a hit.
I gotta quit aiming for the chest, you know that?
I'm afraid it has no real effect. But that brings us to Snookums.
Who again is going to wild attack the one that can see.
Okay, Snookums is wildly attacking. Snookums wildly attacks, getting a hit with a raise.
Ouch.
I think that might have incapacitated that skeleton.
The odds are definitely in favor of that. And then Snookums is going to move around to here so that more people can get in to the fight.
Okey-doke. Sounds good to me. That brings us to Irina.
When you said he was not a doggy, did he take that personally? Because he's well crunching that. Look at him go.
Well, it's the typical cat and ceramics. I mean, just knock it over and it shatters kind of thing.
I think he's playing with
Ceramic,
it. Look at
did I
that.
miss them? What was ceramic?
The way the skeletons shatter, I think.
Oh, right, okay.
The pot things that they make.
I think I am actually going to roll the same spell again with different modifiers, but game effect wise, it's getting the same vines to start to crush things they've already entangled. So I'll obviously put on the modifiers for damage.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good to me. Obviously, you're going to have to spend a point for selective.
Yes,
Otherwise, you're going to entangle Snookums.
I will. So again, it will be 4 power points.
But this time, you're doing it with damage at the end of their turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so... well, they're already entangled, so you've hit them again, which means they're now bound anyway. That didn't appear... Oh, it did apply. It just left it as
And I'm
entangled.
going to slightly move to the side.
Let's try that again.
There's Sheriff's line of fire.
That's better. Now they're bound because they're 2 entangles equals bound. Yep, that's good. And they're also going to take damage at the end of their next turn, which I shall put on that will remind me of that. I might need to think about these. I should possibly. They should last longer than 1 turn. Glow hin. No, they don't. On an instant spell, they last 1 turn. So they're fine. Okay, and then you move to there. That's fine. Thank you. Jelsa.
Well, Jelssa's gonna draw her scimitar. She's gonna go now running. Now that the guys have got him mostly under control, and she's gonna hit one of them.
Go for it. Human skeleton number... Well, human skeleton, actually, is hit. Can't do a lot. Poor thing. It's blinded, bound, and going to take damage if you don't kill it. Which you do. Splat. And last but no means least, we get to Rannick.
Vanek will pull the door out, fling it wide open, and he's not even going to bother with the bastard sword. He's just going to put the boot in, and he's going to wild attack.
Okay.
Oh, you've added it, marvellous.
Well, I like to try and do stuff to enable.
Thank you kindly.
Well, you hit it.
Just a bit.
And we have a wound. So that is the last of the skeletons destroyed. Which means that Dundred is no longer shaken. Okay.
Rannick will pick the shield back up again.
Aye, so why is everything's kind of smashed in the corner, and is there anything nicked?
Well, basically, yeah. So, looking around the vault, you notice a couple of things. First, there seems to be a discarded set of robes lying in one corner. Second, and slightly more disturbing, to the sheriff at least, is the fact that the sarcophagus that contained Ezekiel's body has been opened and his remains stolen. He was killed in the fire a few years back.
He were priests that were in charge of temple that got burnt down. He
was killed in that fire, and his bodies were interred here. But it would appear that his coffin has been smashed and his body removed.
Cannot be good.
Is that the only thing that's gone?
As far as you can tell. So the only other, obviously, the other coffins seem untouched, and other than a set of robes that just appear to be dropped in the corner over there.
What do I know about necromancy and what they could do with that body?
All sorts of horrible things.
How reassuring.
Aye, well, you four are the magic lots. I mean, I don't understand that magic stuff other than if you give me a magic sword, I can hit people with it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you could understand. If they leave here with the body, they were going to be remarkably more laid down. Perhaps you could track them?
Well, I can see... yeah, do the tracks of the goblins and the human leave as well?
Yeah, that's a very good point. It doesn't say. Logically, they left the same way they came in, back over the wall.
Well, they went back out over the wall. We can.
And actually, it's an interesting thing. I've just realised. If you look at that map, it's the wrong way round. Because the wall's on the east side.
Yeah.
So basically, that's north.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I can have a look and see, but east wall goes almost straight out to water.
Well, actually, if you consider it, it's actually here goes into straight into forest. On the other side of this wall is forest.
Right. Okay.
Perhaps
Looking at the map.
Pick up the tracks a little later on when the ground is more damp.
Thing is, it's been a week since the attack. We'll be lucky there's tracks here still to look at.
You have a very good point.
I mean,
the most disturbing thought I could come up with is, what if the whole attack on the town was a distraction just to steal his body? But that makes no sense.
And how badly they want the body. How badly they want
Nelson's over here peeking at these other coffins.
I must ask that we keep this information to ourselves about the missing body. The townsfolk have had enough distress, and knowing that a beloved priest's body has been taken would cause more distress than I really want to have to help with right now.
Aye.
They're actually all rather well secured, the coffins. That's why this one was smashed open. You can't just open them up as it were.
I can go and have a look. I can go and have a look round.
There's no harm in trying.
Aye.
I wonder if they went over the wall of this tracks on the other side. Not that I know. I mean, it's a forest. It's a kind of green wet place, isn't it? So with lettuce and rubbish like that. So yeah,
the robes are incredibly fine
the
quality.
tracks went.
Well, they might find a bit of lamb's lettuce in a forest, like near the edges or in a clearing, but you're not going to find much lettuce in a forest. They grow in fields.
You know what I mean? It's a wet place.
I give the most ridiculously incredulous look to Jelsa and Rannick, and then shake my head.
The home of potential pet props. That's all they're good for. Yeah, see if you can find tracks.
Aye, that's what I was intending to do. I'm going to check wall first, though. I mean, Wall's not that wide here, but somebody could run across top of it if they really wanted to, I suppose. Let's have a look.
A little difficult while carrying it.
No, Jelsa, do not look in a coffin. It is
Oh,
not
bugger. It's just started raining really, really hard, so there's no point in looking for tracks. Because they'll all have been washed away right this very second, just now. So I bet there's nothing about looking for tracks in the book, and the GM doesn't want us to look for them.
Hey, look, there's a wall over there. It's got 4th written on it.
Now I'm bloody soaked through.
Yeah.
Don't
we
worry,
shoot
Sheriff.
everybody. Right, let's shoot everybody. I don't care if you all get wet, can you just shoot out of the room, please? If you shut the doors.
Aye, all right.
The rain looks different to last time I tried it. It looked better last week. There we are. It's the speed you have to increase, isn't it, rather than the intensity.
All right, I'll get out then.
If everybody just minds, I'll offer just pushing off, and then we could fix the doors and make sure the place is okay, and let me sleep in peace.
Okay, you basically start leaving the place, leaving the very ornate and fine-looking robes in the corner.
Well, I mean, the robes are not supposed to be there, so we can take the robes with us. I mean, where does the robes come from? Where did the scries come from? How did they get in? I mean, it's not as if it's not your common robe. Are they posh robes that only came from one place? Are they common robes?
Were they the ones that the priest?
They're very fine quality. Those robes, yes, almost masterwork in their construction.
Well, there has to be. That's a short list of tales.
Someone might want to spend an action doing something.
Yes, Bert will detect magic.
The robes are magical, although it's a very, very faint aura, as if all the charges upon the item have been used. But you do get the sense. Well, an occult roll, only came up as a 3. So someone may well have to spend a bit more time examining them with occult if you want to try and discern what they once did. But you get the distinct impression that.
I'm sure that'd be a good idea, but right now I'm trying to shoot Jill.
Well, I think Detect Arcana just tells you everything if you've got that power, of course.
Can we just not touch graves because that's like dirty? Do you know what I mean? No.
Go poking through the skeletons and stuff and see if they got any shiny
stuff.
No,
don't leave them alone. It's naughty. No.
This is Pathfinder for Savage Worlds.
She's looking for shiny stuff.
If you get buried with it, you're supposed to be left with it. But yeah, it's ethics. Do you know what I mean?
The rules change once they try to kill it.
Oh, listen, I get the whole. It doesn't matter because we're all dust anyway. But I mean.
PDFs on sale on the Pinnacle store.
Faith is faith. You don't have to have a reason for doing it. You just do it.
But yeah. So obviously, Jels is still in there. But yeah, it's raining outside. But I'm sure that's not a problem. The sound effects are stopped. I'll put the sound effect back on if you want. I have to remember that one. It's nice that I could just have a rain sound effect when it's raining.
It says, "Here, Bert, you do magic-y stuff. What does they know about this?"
It's a robe.
Aye, but what did it do?
It kept you warm.
Right. Okay. Well, Bert says it's a robe of keeping. Maybe. Hey, those skeletons weren't really small like goblins were there because there were 6 of them and there were 6 goblins went in. And maybe he took all the flesh off the goblins and put it on himself to keep him warm with the magic of the robe.
So what's up with the robes?
My untrained occult just rolled an 8. So what can I tell about the robe?
Yeah, I was just wondering about that. What? I'm just curious. I just wanted to remind yourself what Tickets still on
Have
card.
you all got our head stuck up our own cannon? He's just looked at the label. Oh,
the robes definitely give off a very much the aura of necromancy. But you have a feeling that these may well have been, although it's hard to be sure because there are no patches remaining upon the robe, but you think this may well have been something you've heard about, a robe of bones. Basically, it has patches on it, and every time you take a patch off and throw it to the ground, and throw that patch to the ground, a skeleton appears. They usually have. The average robe is usually made with about 6 patches on it.
I said so. I said it were a necromancer's robe, and skeletons came jumping out the sleeves.
I've heard one of them before. I've heard of that. I've never heard that. I've
yeah.
never heard a robe of skeletons, but I've heard a robe of many things, or whatever it's called in dwarven lore, where you have sensible things like traps and swords and stuff like that, and you can rip one off.
I newly created robots to figures. Yeah.
Rent you around for that bedtime story.
When worn by a character who can cast the zombie power, you see small undead figures embroidered on the robe, otherwise unremarkable fabric. So there you go. You detach one figure per round, tossing it in the ground so it rises into an actual undead creature. There we go. So, it would appear that's what's been going on here. I'm going to stop the raid. I don't think that I think the old rain effect looked better, but that's me. This was probably less.
Well, now that the rain has stopped, Snookums will actually come out of the crypt. He didn't want to be out there in the rain.
Yeah, I was waiting for the cat to move. That's clearly right. I just want to make sure this place is okay, secured, and the door is locked.
There's an episode I really want. There's an adventure. There's a whole storyline that needed Dondrad, so of course he's not here today. Not Dondrad, Goodfella, so of course he's not here today. Oh well, not to worry. I will change my original plans.
We'll have to do something else then.
Well, indeed. So, the sheriff, basically, the sheriff obviously making sure everything's up, comes outside and shuts the doors securely and locks them again with the key that was provided by Father.
Right, that's me happy now.
He thanks you yet again for. Actually, no, his quarrel broke. He thanks you yet again for all your help, and again reiterates how he feels that divulging what occurred here would not be good for morale around the town. And but thanks you for your help.
Capable of discretion.
And then starts heading back down the path towards the gates, where he will wait for you to exit so he can lock up the graveyard behind you.
Well, that were a bit weird, weren't it?
More than just a little subtle there, huh?
No, it weren't subtle at all.
What wasn't subtle?
We're done. Get out.
But as I say, the rest of the day will pass uneventfully. If there's any particular items or actions any of you particularly wish to investigate, now is possibly a good time to do so.
Well, since Rannick is now allowed to have his sword and shield in town, he's going to go back to the farm.
Yep.
Well, he's going to hand over the sword and shield back to the watch. He's going to go back to the farm and get his own sword and shield.
Would you like some company?
Oh, if they wants the walk, I mean, I don't mind.
Mosswood's broken as well.
I prefer to not be in the town whenever possible, and you'll be walking through the countryside, so.
All right, if you want, I don't mind.
I will join you.
Keep finding.
I don't see a problem with carrying weapons in town at all. I mean, it's not as if we're asking the sheriff; we're going to tell the sheriff. If they're travelling about with me and the church has to be protected, it comes first of all for everybody else. So.
This is why we play test. The amount of bugs I'm finding that look perfectly fine when I did it, and once I now I'm going, oh, bugger. Anyway. I shall do it this way instead. Grim News. Okay, so you head... So I'm just trying to work this one out. So that goes all down... I'm just trying to work it. This is me, don't worry about me. That goes all the way down there. That comes... That goes down to there. Okay. So, okay, well, you're heading back to the hinterlands to pick up your gear.
Yep.
Are you... So that's...
I mean, what can you not get something like a locate spell or something like that? Would that help you find where they went with the bones? No, I imagine they'd be pricey though.
I'm sure things will sort themselves out. Okay, in that case, we shall forward wind to the following day. And I'm going to have to do this one from... the following day, again, Sheriff Hemlock seeks you out. Fortunately, he finds you breakfasting down at the Rusty Dragon, where you're getting sense. You're finding it very, very, very amiable down there. It's a very popular tavern. Actually, Aldrin should be down there as well today. So actually, we'll head down to. When you visit the Rusty Dragon, you find Alden Foxglove is already breakfasting down there. As he spots all of you, especially Irina, he smiles and wanders over. Actually, I've even got sound effects of the Rusty Dragon in, so let's have those.
I'll greet the dog.
The dog is with him.
Oh, okay.
You'll ask after the dog then.
Yeah.
So you find yourself in the tavern. So first things first, I shall. He true to his word, he awards you 50 gold pieces for saving his life, which once you share it equally gets you 8 each and 2 spare. And then he invites all of you to stop by his home in Magnamar the next time you find yourselves in town. But along the way, he also says that before he returns to his townhouse in Magmar in a few days, Magnamar, I should say, he hopes to go on a boar hunt in the nearby Tickwood Forest and would like to invite you along.
Did the boar do something wrong?
He looks a bit perplexed by that, but he says, "No, it is good sport, and obviously the Tickwood Forest, it controls the numbers and all that."
So, are we going to have a human hunt the next day?
Okay, that's another bug. He definitely looks confused. He goes, "Well, we'll pay it no matter if you're not interested. I understand, but obviously I would have liked to have invited all of you, but can I interest?"
I mean, but I don't know. It seems quite. I don't know. Apart from the bit of running about the woods, it's a bit silliness. Yeah, I mean, if it's a war type thing, then I fair enough. Tactics, you could sneak up on them, I suppose.
Oh, it's not exactly
I'm
war.
willing to go. I just wanted to know why you were hunting the boar. I mean, is it dinner tomorrow night?
So
target practice.
Yes, indeed. No, I understand where you're coming from. Obviously,
I don't hunt animals for fun. If
Alden,
you're not hunting for food,
can I have some notice checks from everyone, please?
Can you hear us, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, it's just I've been on and off to stop our voice thing going red.
Well, I'd certainly heard Irina saying, well, maybe you are going red and I can't hear you in your red, but I definitely heard Irina saying she doesn't hunt animals. Jelsa and Bert, you're obviously distracted by other stuff. Dondrad, though. Irina, Bert, actually Snookums, though, and Rannick. So Irina, Snookums and Rannick. You notice that he he definitely seems to be disappointed at the fact you turned him down on the hunt, but he quickly covers that and smiles and shrugs and says, well, of no matter, please join me for breakfast. At least allow me to buy you breakfast.
Of course.
All right, I'll have breakfast with thee.
And he goes, so, my lady Irina, I gather your name is, for that is the tale that is being told around town. If you do not like to hunt animals, what does one do for entertainment and pleasant times? He smiles sheepishly at you. And if you're answering, I can't hear it.
Learn about the world, improve yourself, increase your knowledge. Generally, try and make the future better than the past.
I see. And how does one do that, my lady?
I look confused at the question. Pay attention to that is around you and take knowledge from those who know things you do not. Learn from allies, friends, books. I take it you read.
Indeed, I have an extensive library in my house in Magnemar. Perhaps you would care to visit it if you ever find yourself there.
Yeah, they wanted to go hunting a boar, right, in Tickwood. How much does they know about forests and that?
It's full of trees, my dear sir. But I'm sure that you and your friends know more about forests than I do. I just ride through them to get from place to place, and obviously that is where the boar lives, so that is where I would go to hunt them.
I don't know about the whole.
Sorry. Okay.
I don't know about hunting the boar for entertainment, but I mean, if it's target practice, I mean, practice is good, right? Practice lets you kill things faster. That's okay.
And Bert is willing to go on this boar hunt if that's what he really wants to do.
Oh, he does seem slightly brightened up by this, but will my lady Irina accompany us?
Bert looks at Irina and gives her a very obvious wink.
Alden seems oblivious to that. In the meantime, he just seems to be sort of trying to catch Irina's eye. At which point, the waitress starts bringing over all your food, and as the waitress brings forth Alden's breakfast, she basically suddenly, for no apparent reason that anyone can see, she suddenly seems to lose balance and basically spills Alden's breakfast into his lap. Alden jumps up and sort of yells in shock and surprise at the very warm meal landed upon his lap. The waitress is most apologetic. For a couple of seconds, he looks almost annoyed and angry, but he quickly, glancing around and remembering where he is, seems to smile and say, "Oh, pay it no mind at all. Just my second best trousers." And he says, "If you'll excuse me, gentlemen, ladies." Irina
Rannick gives Jels a sideways glance and raises an eyebrow.
And he strides he strides purposefully off towards his quarters to change his breeches.
She's very focused on eating whatever they brought her.
That.
Bert
I
will
say
look up
smiling.
Bert will look up at the servant and was that an accident or was that on purpose? He's going to be very blunt about asking her.
The servant, I have no idea. It's like the plate jumped out of my hands. I've never seen the like. I'm going to get in so much trouble. No, please, I really must go back and get another breakfast. And she picks up the food, scrapes the food off the ground and pops it onto the pewter plate and rushes off with it back to the kitchen. But you do hear laughter coming from the kitchen. It's not hers. She does seem distressed, but it sounds like Miko obviously seems to find what the tale she's saying most amusing, and doesn't appear in any way, shape, or form to be upset with the waitress.
Well, as long as breakfast is plenty of meat and there's we get chips with it, fantastic.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Irina, if they can deal with this idiot fawning over there, maybe we should go front. Insist he donates the boar to Tavernier for serving to regulars and all.
That's certainly reasonable.
And that of course presumes that he actually catches the boar. Just because I said I'd go on the hunt didn't mean I didn't say I'd help him actually get the boar.
I have no problem with the boar being captured as long as it's for a purpose. I have a problem with animals being killed pointlessly.
Oh, he would have probably had it brought back here for eating, yes, certainly.
And then Jalsa's going to give Irina a side eye and go, I hear boar bristles make excellent brushes to smooth out your hair. You probably could use one.
Saying something about my hair, Jess.
I like your hair. It's so much easier to help you keep it tidy.
My eyes twinkle slightly.
Actually, by the way, that's not a bad idea. Getting some bits of hair brushes, because you never know when you have to take glitter out your beard, for instance.
Yes, yes, glycerin beards can be a problem for dwarves. It does appear.
I can't say I've ever had that problem, have they, Bert?
Oh,
I don't think I've forgotten that, because I haven't.
I try to make sure I don't end up with glitter in my beard in the first place.
I've never been able to grow a beard. Apparently, that's an Orky thing. Can they grow a beard then, Bert?
I sort of had a beard at one time, but yeah, it was not a good thing.
They very rarely are unsanitary things.
What we had? Oh, because
well, Mike, I kept it clean and short. It wasn't like it was growing all over the place like some people's hair sometimes can. But it was just one of those things that it was better that I not have it.
Okay, it's just about half an hour later when Alden reappears, and is quite glad to see you all sitting around, having had a very good breakfast. Miko is a very good cook after all. And he sits himself back down in the chair that is the closest he can get to Irina, and nods at all of you in turn, and then just sort of stares dreamily at Irina yet again. And says, I must be getting on shortly, but after breakfast, it's a shame about the hunt, but that's not a worry.
I mean, we can go on. I mean, I don't mind going for the hunt, but
I did try and say something, but the electronics stopped us. I said, we've been talking about this hunt of yours, and provided that the boar was donated to the inn as a meal for the patrons, we'd be more willing to take part.
He goes, what a capital idea! Boy, that's absolutely brilliant. I think that's fine. Obviously, well, yes. Let me see. If we could probably set out. We could possibly set out within the hour. It's about 1.5 mile ride to Tickwood Forest. Are your horses kept nearby?
Horses.
We're on foot.
Oh no, that we can't do that. We can't have that at all. Right. I tell you what. Why don't you all meet me? And I can't see the name of it now. Why don't you all meet me at? I've lost the name of the bloody stables. Excuse me a second.
GM loading.
It's
something Goblin Stables, yes.
Flatted Goblin?
Yeah, the Goblin Squash Stables, number 38, which means it must be down here. Yeah, it's down here So by the southern end, but actually, this is next door. It's next door to the Rusty Dragon Inn.
Particularly difficult then. So,
Incredibly
next door.
difficult. He goes, well, allow me to finish breakfast, and then we'll see what the squashed goblin has next door, and allow me to purchase mounts for all of you. It's the least I can do.
I blink with surprise at that. That is a heck of an offer.
Bloody hell! Well, there's buying horses. I should probably give you back this gold because I mean, horse. That's an horse is a lot of money. Have you gone soft in head?
I'm just checking whether he's actually buying them. I can't see the notes. I remember reading that the other day. Where's Squashed Goblin? There. Where the hell's the Squashed Goblin gone?
I
Next.
managed to not snort my drink down my nose when you used to say that.
Alden gladly buys each character his own mount from the Goblin Squash stables, and then and yeah, so he will. I knew it said it somewhere. I just
Wow.
didn't see it in the PDF.
Mm,
He is rich.
he must be.
Yeah. So okay, so that means if I go into the
Rannick is going to try and give him back the 8 gold pieces if he's buying him a horse.
He says, no, don't think anything of it, sir. It's the least I can do. It is a minuscule sum for saving my life. It's the least I can do.
Minuscule. I never had an horse before in my life. I mean, I can ride a little bit. I'm not well, but I can sit on one.
So let's get.
I can help you.
Let's get
Aye.
So if we go, no, I want GM's guide. So here we go, bestiary.
About this whole horse thing, because are these like human and orc size horses? Because yeah,
Yeah, hang on.
Sparkle, Fitz, and Stunty might need a pony.
Well, you can get ponies. Yeah, it'll get you. There won't be war horses or war ponies, but they will be riding. So I'm just loading up the bestiary because I've actually done the bestiary version, which means I have the tokens for nice, pretty horses rather than just H. How far have I got? Mind you, which version of the bestiary is this? How far down have I got on the list on this version of the bestiary? Down to heavy ponies, heavy war ponies, light war ponies. So there's so there. Okay, so basically you can have light ponies or light horses.
Will a light horse support Rant? It probably will.
I'm just loading them up.
Yeah, it'll be okay with a proper saddle. It'll all be good.
That's very.
I'll get to know my horse.
No tokens. Why aren't the tokens there? They should be in the module. I'll have to look into that later. Not to worry. So, let's have a look. Pony. So yeah, you can have ponies. Oh, that's interesting.
You can explain.
Uh,
I think at 6'1", a pony might be a little bit small for me.
Campaign tokens. I get the impression. Yeah, sorry. Basically, I was trying to use the Fantasy Grounds Unity version of Swell earlier, and because I'd created most of it, the module in Classic, there's some search and replace you need to do to make Swell load the Swell version, and I get the impression one of the search and replaces I did went wrong because it's gone and put the information for the tokens in the description field. So I'm not going to use those ones. I'll use the GM ones because I haven't changed those, and I'll have to go and fix the bestiary later. So light horse. A light horse, a riding horse compromise speed with carrying capacity, and the smaller version of it is a pony. So yes. So I get what I shall do. I think the easiest thing to do is I shall put. Of course, they're not actually items, are they? So if I share the horse and pony, you can drag whether you want you can drag your horse or pony, and ponies should have a P, not an H, but that doesn't matter, to your ally sheet, and then you have your own horse or pony, not and. So I think Jelsa and Dondrad would be riding ponies. Everyone else would get horses.
Main tab where your crew would be in 50 fathoms. presumably we get saddles and stuff like that as well.
Logically speaking, yes.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's on your horse, so we won't worry too much about that.
Yeah.
I'll be getting to know my horse.
Indeed. And you can obviously change their names and name them accordingly later. So,
I'll find out what my horse is called. I'll ask it what its name is.
ooh, that's a good. I like that.
Right, how did it get on? All right, okay. Right, well, this is going to be awkward.
I'll show you how to get on your horse.
Your horse is called Swift Silver.
Beautiful.
Obviously,
everybody else gets to name theirs, but yeah.
Unless Arena's going around asking all the horses their names.
Oh, don't do that.
And so is Bert. I mean, Bert is also asking for names and so forth, because if we're going to be traveling with him for a while, he wants to be able to talk to him.
You're Beast friend as well.
Bert's a druid, so I imagine he does.
Beastmaster, but yeah.
But your horse is probably named for the fact that it's got 4 white socks upon its feet. It basically
boots.
Snow feet.
Oh.
Do you want to be called Snowfeet? I mean, that's kind of up to you if you want to be Snowfeet or not.
Yeah. Are you asking horses what they're called?
Yes.
What's that about? I mean, all I know is if mine doesn't work, I think we're going to call it potential lunch.
I can speak to my horse, so why not do so?
Oh, I suppose so. Maybe that's something that'd be good for me to learn how to do. Reckon I could?
It's not impossible or unheard of, but it is magical ability. It would take a great deal of training.
Oh, well, what's this horse called then?
I'll find out for you.
Can you train it to fight in battle then?
And I ask it if it thinks, if it's all right with me, because I know I'm a big lad.
I'll talk to Rannick's horse, find out its name, and ask if it's all right with Rannick, and explain that Rannick's nervous that the horse might not like him.
But Snowfeet says, well, I have to admit, I have always looked at the sky and figured I would love to dance across it. What would that make me?
That would make you Sky Dancer, and I likes that name, so I will name you Sky Dancer. I will call you Sky for short. Is that good?
The horse in happiness. Okay. Arena, apparently Radix horse says, call me Clodhopper. They call me Clodhopper. And if you're talking, we can't hear, I'm afraid.
Are you happy with that name?
It's what they call me.
What do you call yourself?
Well,
You've got a My Little Pony naming site, haven't you?
no, I haven't actually. That's a damn good idea. I should have gone for My Little Pony. I personally always like the name Trotter.
Trotter? A fine name. And Rannick here, indicate Rannick so the horse knows him, is worried that you might not like him. He cares a great deal about what you think, so... Are you all right with him riding you?
Has he got any sugar? I like anyone who gives me sugar.
I'll make sure he knows that you like that. I say to Rannick, his name's Trotter and he likes sugar.
Sugar?
Yes.
Look, sugar's bloody expensive.
You've got 8 gold that you've just been bought.
Aye, but will he accept carrots instead?
Accept them, but if you want him to like you, it's sugar.
I mean, I just don't want him to throw me off. I mean, I've never ridden an horse before.
I suspect if you give him sugar every now and again, he'll be very loyal to you.
Right, sugar. Well, I best go buy some sugar then, hadn't I?
That just leaves the 2 ponies.
Manic would like to go and buy a bag of sugar.
Well, actually, funnily enough, where's Ven Vinder's store? The general store. If anyone's got it, he probably does.
I'll go to the general store then and see if he's got some sugar in.
Sugar lumps.
Verissa, Sandpoint locations. Is it store? Yeah, the general store, number 26. That's a fair way away, I'm afraid. Where is it? Number 26 is... Oh, there's the general store. So it's only up the street. It's there.
Okay, I'll go up the street and see if I can get some sugar from the general store.
It's owned and operated by Ven Vinder and his family. Sandpoint's oldest and best stocked general store has a little bit of everything. Farm equipment, weapons, tack, tools, furniture, food, and even homemade pies by Ven's wife, Solster.
I will go in and... excuse me, Mr. Vinder.
Ah, hello. Yes, I gather. Yes. How can I help you today?
I need some sugar, please, Mr. Vinder.
Sugar? We've got. I could sell it to you by the ounce, or we do have these newfangled sugar cubes, but they're a bit more expensive.
Oh, well, how much are they?
A dozen for a gold piece.
A dozen for a gold piece. And how much is it by ounce?
It's 3 copper an ounce. Sorry, silver an ounce. Sorry. It's all gone quiet again. He's obviously talking and got cut off.
So how heavy are these sugar cubes?
Sorry?
How heavy are these sugar cubes?
I don't know. I was just wondering that myself. I'm just thinking, going, oh, my sum's off.
Find that out. That's no
I mean,
problem.
how big a bag of sugar can I get for a gold piece?
That's quite a lot, I imagine.
3 ounces. It's 10 silver to a gold, so they get 3 ounces of sugar for a gold piece.
Well, so you'll get 3 ounces for a gold piece.
For a sugar cube is equivalent to 1 teaspoon of sugar, weighs approximately 4 grams.
Do it.
An ounce is 28 grams. So, yeah, that's it. So 12.
So for 5 gold pieces, I'll get a pound of sugar, roughly.
So a sugar cube weighs 4 grams. So basically, you're getting one. Yeah, if you buy the sugar cubes, you're buying 1.7 ounces of sugar just to get them in you know what I mean, in cube form. If that makes sense. So yeah,
Tell me what then.
Cubes
Here's 5 gold pieces. I'll have a pound of sugar.
Okay, he gives you a pound of sugar.
I don't see the point in this.
You
To bribe his horse. That's a perfectly reasonable expenditure.
No, but just they do what they're supposed to do, and if they don't, you just give them a good boot up the backside and job done.
And then I'll go back.
It gives you a glare.
Then I'll go back to the. I'll then go back to the stables, and I'll find Trotter, and I'll take a little bit of sugar in my hand and say, "Right, here you go."
Hold your hand flat.
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 Well, the sugar will fall off.
Flat as you can without dropping the sugar.
All right, here you go.
I forgot what we said we was going to call him now.
Does they want it, Trotter?
Oh, Trotter, that was it. Trotter basically looks happily at it and obviously starts snuffling it away.
Right, there they go. Good fella. No, not good fella. Good. Oh, bloody hell. Good boy. Good fellas. Lanky chap doesn't like me. Never mind.
Calm down.
Okay.
It's okay.
Has
never
everyone
ridden
named
horse before.
has everyone named their horses to their happiness?
Yeah.
It's an important thing. You don't want to rush that.
Indeed. Dondrad and Jelsa, you just have ponies. That's absolutely fine. Right, Alden turns up at this point. He's bedecked out in all the best riding gear.
Well, I don't really want to name it because if it doesn't do what it's supposed to, it's going to end up as potential food.
Fair enough.
Potential lunch, you know.
Okay, so Alden at this point arrives, pays the bill, checks that everyone's happy with the animals they've selected, goes off and pays the bill to a very happy owner of the Goblin Squash stables, who I will see. So the sign above the door perpetuates one of the greatest fears of the lonely goblin, being trampled underfoot by a horse. The stables are attended by a retired hunter named Davian Hosk. Davy Wren Hosk, I should say, whose hatred of goblins is nearly legendary in Sandpoint. In a somewhat grisly display over the entrance to the stables barn is a collection of goblin ears preserved and nailed to 3 different rafters, each bearing the goblin's name burned into leathery flesh, mostly because he knows that writing down a goblin's name is one of the worst things you can do to desecrate its memory. He explains all this as you were picking out your horses. But anyway.
That's the way you do it. If your horse, your pony runs up and it crushes the skull of the enemy, then you should give it a name, Thunderfoot or...
His pride and joy is a large glass bottle filled with brine in which he's preserved the body of Chief Wartus of the now extinct, and he points out, now in large part to his efforts, of the Bone Grinder tribe. But anyway, Alden turns up, pays the bill, and he eagerly leads you and his 3 manservants west over Tanner's Bridge. Do you know what? This is really surreal. How the hell do you go west over Tanner's Bridge when west would take you out to sea?
Maybe the entire city's on some sort of fulcrum and keeps rotating.
Maybe.
Sorry, I don't actually mean that.
But no, it's absolutely fine. It's just obviously because they have
maybe that's Tanner's Bridge down the bottom there.
What that?
Because you could leave and then go west over that bridge.
Except that takes you down to the farms, and if you actually, you would actually logically want to head that way because where's the other map? There's Hinterlands. If I share that one, I've actually marked because it's read only. It keeps forgetting where all your tabs are. I'm going to put them back on again. But I've actually marked where Tickwood is.
Is that the green pin?
That's the green pin. Yes.
Ah, yes, that's the one where when we click on it, it says you're trying to use a module that's not loaded.
Oh, great. Okay, fair enough. See, that might explain everything. Let's make Sandpoint back on. Yeah, this is the thing. I'm fairly convinced that I might make my own player's guide version of the guide, the guide to Verissa, because that definitely I think is meant to be very much more GM based than player based, but they're not entirely. Don't make it clear if it's meant to be players or not. So I'm gonna have to work out that one. But anyway, according to this, you head west over Tanner's Bridge, even though I think that's physically impossible to get to Tickwood. And then along the southern banks of the Tyrannodoc River. It's a 1.5 mile ride to Tickwood Forest, just north of the Upfrost limestone escarpment known as the Devil's Platter. Despite its ominous name, Tickwood is actually a relatively safe woodland, one well known to be the home of boars, deer, large cats, and the rare giant ticks for which the wood is named, but no goblin tribes dwell within its boundaries. So it takes about half an hour to ride to Tickwood. And along this, Alden carries on. He's a charming conversationalist. He's well read, with seen an endless cache of stories about high life in Magnamar. But he's more interested in finding out more about your backgrounds and lives and experiences in the past. And yes, indeed. Whenever he gets the chance, he always tries to find a way to. He'll buy those for you, Irina. Don't worry. He finds a way to. Oh, saddlebags. Yes, you'll probably buy those yourself. Rather, he gives you just the saddle and tack. Yeah.
It's just that I wanted to wait for Amber to ride.
Fair enough. Oh, of course, yes, for Amber. Yes, he does seem most taken that you go around everywhere with this far-pelt fox, but again, he just finds it one more fascinating tale for you to try to get to tell. Anyway, so the actual the day passes relatively pleasantly. It's a sunny day. The rain from yesterday has gone, and you find yourselves enjoying Alden's company. But as the day goes on, you find he does start to grate a little bit, and he definitely does seem to be really, really, really obsessed with finding out more about Arena and trying to spend an awful lot of time desperately flirting with her. You get the impression he's not too good at it, but yeah. As the day goes on, you're starting to feel a little.
Do you reckon he ever shuts up? Panic will say to probably Dondrad when he's a little late.
I think he's a wee bit naturally charmed there. Actually, it could be worse. It might be us.
Ironically, actually, do you know what he was going to do with the boar? If you caught one,
what?
Hand it over to Amiko to cook. But obviously, he doesn't admit that to you, because obviously he wants to ingratiate yourself with your wonderful ideas. But so indeed, it's a most pleasant day, and his men are tracking ahead and beating the brush and everything, trying to. But it looks like the day may pass without
sight of a boar.
Without sight of a boar.
There's a surprise.
We're not supposed to sneak up on them with guile and cunning.
Rannick gives Bert a look, and when Fox, whatever his name is,
Foxglove.
No, Foxglove. Yeah, the noble is a little further ahead. He's going to say, "Here, Bert, are you doing one of those?" And he brings his fingers up and wiggles them in his face. Druidy things to keep all the boars away.
No, not really. I was just gonna, when we saw one, I was gonna make lots of noise and try and scare it away. But I guess his meters are already doing that already. So
I guess they are. I thought boars were pretty territorial myself. I mean, if they do get near one of them's going to get a tusk in his unmentionables.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't understand how it works. You're not supposed to let the boar see it. Is the boar not supposed to see it and then charge it, and then you get to fight it in hand-to-hand combat to the death?
That's usually the idea. Spear. Yeah, most folks do it with a spear. You stand there, right. you wait for the boar to charge at you, and then you put the spear down so the boar charges onto the spear. And if you get it right, boar dies and not you.
Well, that's okay. As long as it can kill, as long as there's a risk, then okay, I suppose.
Oh, there's definitely a risk.
Because then it's all fate.
Especially if somebody kicks the back end of that spear just before the boar gets there.
Who would do that kind of thing?
Depends who's holding the spear.
But I'm sure the boar feels the whole thing. I mean, you really like to go down fighting. You know what I mean? Sword in hand.
I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. Yeah.
If there's no buggers around, that's neither here nor there, though, is it?
Suddenly, without any warning whatsoever, you hear a scream in two different directions, and two of the beaters suddenly just go down with very quickly, and there seems to be quite a lot of unpleasantness.
Oh, bugger. Right, how do I get off this thing?
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going to have to redo everything because the scale was just too small. So I'm just going to have to hit everyone back on again.
It does manage to dismount.
Logically speaking, you would have the horse. Basically, one of the manservants was left tending the horses on the edge of the forest.
Right.
And then what happens is you're on foot going in through the forest. You've reached an area where it's quite a nice pond. But yeah, when suddenly
This effect for drawing an extra card,
yes.
I'm going to need that because we're in a forest.
Okay, so I'm going to go open. I'm going to go action card equals 1. I think. Let's give it a try. I think it was action card equals 1. Give me a second to double check. That's the load strength plus 1 dice. That's really nice. I like that.
Look at Bert's hesitant feet, or hindrance rather.
His feet are hesitant.
Oh. Yeah, it's hard coded though on that one. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we'll give that a try, and we'll see.
I'd imagine he actually said the thing is Bert sounds a bit shy. I bet he's always looking at his feet.
That didn't work.
Try action card plus 1.
Yes, it should have been plus 1. Let's just manually deal you 1 this time. Bloody hell.
I love that one.
You will, you?
Yeah. It's a joke.
What the hell? 6 at once.
We're playing Pathfinder. I bet it says 1 per character.
Oh, I see. Logic has no part in it.
They're territorial. Both the boars have suddenly attacked and gored both the manservants.
Told you they'd get it in the unmentionables.
Rannick.
We got a map.
Or is this quick combat? Or is it theatre of the mind?
Oh, sorry.
Ah, that makes life easier.
Sorry.
See, that's better, right? Okay. See.
Okay, Rannick will step forward, unslinging his composite bow. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go into there. And is then going to shoot twice.
Okay, hang on. So I can't accept your move at the moment because I'm not in gameplay mode. I also need to turn off lock to grid so you can move freely. There we go.
Okay, so Rannick gets out his composite bow, steps forward, and first shot on that one. And if that kills that one, as long as they're not resilient or anything.
I shall have a look in a second.
No, it's incapacitated.
Yep.
So unless you're soaking, he'll shoot that one as well.
Wow.
What the hell? 2 down.
Right, that'll do for tea.
Okay,
Indeed.
so first things first, I need to go to effects. I go and find what I'm looking for. So, okay, so Tickwood Boar number 3, rages.
Oh yeah, forgot to do that. Bugger.
And comes straight at you
I was kind of expecting that.
to try and gore you with its tusks. But it misses.
No,
No, because you won't get your shield.
That lake looks so weird. right
but
now.
no, it still missed because my parry would be 6. But yeah, I need
Yes.
to unequip my shield. Sorry, let me do that.
Okay, so then this boar here rages and has a pace of 7, so it can get to you without having to run. But misses. And this boar here rages. It's just rageable now.
This is not quite what I had in mind.
Well, I don't mind if they charge. That's great, fantastic. When they'll run away squealing, I don't like. That's boring.
I'm afraid this one comes barreling out of the woods and gores Arena.
I'm going to be trying to avoid such things happening. I'm going to try and avoid it better than that.
Taking a wound. Oh! I'm afraid you are gored by the boar as you take a wound as it basically just barrels you over and just starts...
You totally messed up my elven cool, you know that.
That's okay, Alden. You do know Alden will do everything in his power to save you in a second.
Yeah, I know that, but that was kind of like, well, that's just not elven cool, is it?
No. And in the meantime, I'm going to gorge Elsa next. Missing. Arena, you unshake from this raging boar that's just trying to disembowel you.
Fair enough, in which case I'm going to use my powers. We have enough meat for one day. Go with peace.
I said go with peace. I'd rather you go with bread and butter.
Interesting
Once we've
question.
killed
If
to
you
go
use
with bread and butter.
Beast Friend on a raging animal, what would happen? Let's have a look. Yeah. I think the problem is, well, yeah. Okay, I'm going to say, right, Beast Friend, let's have a look. It allows individuals to speak with and guide the actions of nature beasts. Success means it obeys a simple command like a well-trained dog. Okay, works on natural creatures with animal intelligence, and I do believe they do have animal intelligence. They do indeed. Which one did you go for? You went for number 5, didn't you? Okay. You basically talk to that one and say, go in peace. It's raging, so it's going to be neutral, so we'll see what happens.
Our voice had gone. She wanted to do it on all of them with the extra PowerPoints.
Can you hear us?
I can.
Cool.
The problem I have with this one is...
You can always resist it with a spirit roll because they're enraged.
They're enraged, and also basically they will automatically attack anyone who encroaches on their territory. So it's territorial defence, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
In that case, you could instead of making them neutral, you could always say that it unrages them instead.
I was just going to have it basically mean they basically back off for a round and then come back again. But I like the idea of a spirit for it. But I think they're raging and they don't care about anything. It's reckless abandon as well. But
Yeah, they'd probably get a bonus to their spirit for that.
probably. So if we give them let's give them a +2. So both of those. I like that idea. So both of those are going to stay put. Let's see what happens with this one. He's staying put. I think they're staying put, but I will say actually is you did get the raise. So what I will retcon it slightly to say the first two that didn't actually succeed without modifiers, because I'm going to say you're applying a -2 and they're getting a +2. So we'll put it back to straightforward. Those two are going to move off, even though while raging and be very angry, but they will possibly. I'll give them a spirit check next round to recover. Amber.
Yeah. What?
Run away!
Okay.
What would the fox do?
But
Bert will run up and chop at Tickwood Boar number 3.
mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a difference between sort of scaring them away and then, yeah, I agree. Do you know what I mean? It's a case of these things are stupid. Apparently, tick ward boars are very territorial and very very irascible.
Irascible.
Very tough hide as well. You shake tickwood boar number 3. Snookums.
Yeah, okay. And then Snookums is going to come up here and leap on number 4.
Is that a pounce?
Yes, it is.
There we are. Snookums is pouncing. I did ask for pounce to be added, but he said no. Make it a sub attack. Like, okay. He hits.
Oh.
3 wounds. Okay, that's
the throat now.
when tusks meet claws, claws win. It would appear.
Mm.
That brings us to Dondrad.
Dondrad.
And then Snookums is
Sorry.
going to use his last 2 inches of movement to swing around here to that one.
Okay, sorry, Mr. Dondrad, sir.
No, it's okay. I had to check and make sure he had the base 8 that I thought he did.
That's okay.
Dondrad. Drop. Says me. Yeah, I mean, as combat goes, I think that was try it again, Irina. Up you get.
Okay, that's that's a channel energy, and you pour a positive healing energy into Irina and her wound. Her wound.
No
close.
sympathy, by the way. Yeah, that was a bit sloppy. Try it again. Go and get in there.
Are you doing anything else, or are we moving on to Jelsa?
No, apart from giving her abuse. No.
Jelsa.
Yeah, Jelsa was on her pony, so she's going to jump off her pony, actually leap from the pony's back to the boar's back.
She's gonna ride the ball. That won't go wrong. Okay, go for it. That'll be opposed athletics to clamber onto the ball. Go for it. Oh, that ball is the ball's so shocked that you've jumped on top of it. It's shaken.
Can I still stab him?
Of course you can. Do you want to make him vulnerable?
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
Okay, go for it. You jump on top of the wall, hitting it. Even with a -2, you still shook it. So, but it's
Well, my damage. I've got so many. I'm going to Benny that once because my damage has sucked today.
Oh me! Please
What's
continue.
D6 damage because it's vulnerable and you're a rogue.
Wait, do I get an extra D6?
You're a rogue.
When
yeah.
you attack vulnerable targets, you get an extra D6 damage because you're a rogue.
To roll another D6 and add it to the one I already rolled.
You might want a sub attack of that, maybe. I don't know.
And I'm going to Benny it one more time and do it the right way this time.
Yeah, because all you get is hardy. So, yeah, both. Even if you add it to either of those, that just means it's still only shaken, which it can't because it gets hardy. So, go for it.
Wow, that's better.
Oh,
That's quite a backstab.
Mm.
It literally is because you're sitting on its back.
I think she stuck her fingers in its nostril, pulled its neck up, and slit its throat.
I get the impression she certainly did. Down it goes. That's a big.
Slide off of its back before it falls on me.
Fair enough. Ooh, last but no least, the foxglove goes, "Milady!" and comes running over towards this boar, where he deftly attacks it. A 7 would hit it. Oh, my word. He skewers the boar. I know it says knocked out, but Alden kills the boar that attacked Irina. Next round. And there you go, Rannick. It worked that time. So it's action
It
card
did.
+1. Yeah. So Alden basically extends a hand to help Irina back up. Jelsa.
No more targets.
Okay, I'll accept his hand.
Yeah, just the one over here that the three of us have ganged up on.
Yeah, it's going to have a bad time of it, I have a feeling.
So
I
it's what?
think I'm going to walk over to the water and wash off while they finish that thing.
Are you doing anything, Jelsa?
Trying to whisper it to you.
Oh, okay, so that's fine. I shall await the whisper. Really?
Was that the sound for a ball?
Pardon?
Was that the sound effect for a ball?
No, I don't have a sound effect for the ball. Oh. As you go to accept, Alden's hand, he slips in the blood of the boar and accidentally cups one of your breasts. Irina. He takes his hand away very, very quickly and shamefacedly.
You need to take more care. I get up, off to the water to clean myself.
Don't blame me.
I'm not. I know exactly whose fault it was, and I'm really grateful she did it.
Rannick!
Right, well, since Rannick's not aware of what's going on behind him, he's got his bow. Rather than drawing and knocking another arrow, Rannick is just going to punch the tickwood ball.
Okay.
Her? What on earth happened there?
You didn't target it.
Ah, right, okay. Well, then I didn't get the raise damage. I thought I had it targeted. Obviously not. So I need to get an extra d6 damage for the raise. So that's good. And I did a wild attack, so that's going to be 12 in total.
In that case, I'm going to be a dick about it and do that.
Well, in that case, I'm going to be a dick back, and I'm going to bend the damage.
Maybe target it first, but it doesn't matter.
Oh.
That's a shame. You didn't hit it. You didn't wound anything because you didn't target it. What a shame.
There. Well, if we're going to be like that, I've got bennies. I can keep using them. Shall I target it this time then?
You know, I have an infinite stack if I want to cheat.
I'm aware of that. You've still only soaked one wound. So I notice I did non-lethal damage on that one. I've punched it between the eyes and knocked it out.
Fair enough.
Wow! That thing's got a bloody hard skull.
Not the only one.
Okay, well, so basically, yes, you have. That must admit, I wonder if the original adventure was just the one boar, because it does say after the hunt, you invite the friends back to the Rusty Dragon that evening. He hands the boar over to Emiko. This is after it tells you to have 1 tickwood boar per hero. Wonders of Pathfinder original text being upgraded to Savage Worlds monster levelings. So yeah, I must admit, I suspect the Pathfinder fight is much tougher if it's 1 boar against a party of first level, second level characters, I suppose, at this point.
Yes, those tickwood boars are nasty in Pathfinder.
Yeah. They are in this if they get a chance to hit you, but you guys are just too good. With Savage Worlds, when the dice explode, they explode well. Well, I
make my count 3. Says Rannick. Anybody else beat that?
Alden goes over and again tries to apologise to Urina. He's most embarrassed and can't even begin to understand how on earth that's happened. But he goes, but we have a good repast. I know, if you excuse me, I must check if to see if the state of my men. And he goes over and says, do any of you have do any of you good fellows have healing capabilities? My fellow over here appears to be holding his insides in, but he seems to be okay. In which case, he's calling out to the other, Jackson, are you there? And he hears no reply. He looks across to where Jackson was over there.
So, is it a wee scratch, or does he actually need magic? No, he's got a wee scratch.
Okay, using the magic, you are able to save the life of Thompson over here. Alas, though,
Sod the magic. That's a bandage.
That's a bandage. Okay, but in the 10 minutes it takes you to bandage him up, I'm afraid Jackson bleeds out.
Well, I thought somebody was going to look for him.
Bert's right there. He's
joking.
going to try and find Jackson.
Can't hear me again, can you?
No, Jackson's over there. So Donjon's bandaging him up and said, I did hear you say I can't hear you, so yes, please say something.
Okay. I said I'd go and help with the healing, as in I'd go to the other guy.
Yeah.
When he went to the first one.
You thought you'd go as far away from him as possible.
Well, yeah, that's definitely true.
Okay.
Who's dead?
He's not dead. You managed to save Jackson and Thompson. Well, Bert's actually patching him up.
So you don't need me to do that.
I think Bert's probably confident he will patch him up, and you won't need to use your magic on that. Bert
used magic. Bert used magic.
Oh, yes, you did. I do apologise. You used faith healing. So by the time you get back, you see Dondra still bandaging up the other guy. He's sort of scooping up the guy's insides and pouring him back in and putting a bandage around him.
It's a wee scratch.
Very
Come on.
soldiers.
Hey up, Jackson. How's your bollocks?
Jackson's in too much pain to answer at the moment. But other than those minor mishaps, with the two with the skewered boars, you the Aldrin Foxglove quite a bit shaken up at what happened here. I'm very glad that you were all with him. I said, we'd have been in so much trouble if you hadn't come. Yet again, you have proved how wonderfully heroic you all are.
Under my breath, I say, and you've proved how much of an absolute moron you are.
But he goes, we shall let us return these as agreed to the Rusty Dragon, where we shall hand them over to Emiko to cook a big feast for all who are in the tavern. And drinks are on me, my friends. Drinks are on me.
Well, if the waitress is as clumsy as she was last time.
Well, can we get some? As long as we've got plenty left over arms for the poor.
I think so.
Well, indeed.
Well, let's make some of those long pole carrying things.
Rannick's already been doing that.
Has he?
Yeah.
Okay, have you
I've
made
been
enough?
sort of tying and preparing the balls for transport and making sure I leave the unconscious one alone.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean? What an unconscious boar?
Well, yeah, I punched it out, didn't I?
Why don't you just kill it?
We don't need it.
We got 5 boas for eating. We can leave this one.
Oh well, whatever. I don't think it's really. I don't know. I suppose it
It's
could
not-
recover and then fight again. That'll be in. That'll be okay.
Well, it's just think of the territory it's got now. We've taken out 5 of its rivals for it.
Right,
No need to kill it when there's no need to kill it.
let's go.
Yeah, it can get a whole passel of sows now, and man, it's great. Just let it go.
It'll wake up in an hour or 2, I suppose.
Indeed.
Here, you would just take a look at my knuckles. I think I bruised them.
Oh, poor baby.
Oh, get stuffed, pointy ears.
Good stuff.
See, at least I don't have to eat any. At least we can get proper meat dinner.
Here, tell her what. I'll make sure she saves sweetbreads for you.
Well, it's Amico. As always, prepares exquisitely good food, and it is a very enjoyable night in the tavern, especially if you are able to spend more of it than not avoiding Alden, as he seems to be regaling everyone in the tavern about the heroic actions of all of you. Although he does actually get to point out he does actually get to tell the tale how he saved the fair Irina from a boar.
He what?
We did, didn't he? Technically.
It gored you. He came and stabbed it in the back and killed it.
Yeah, after I'd told it to back off, and it did.
Yeah, but he didn't know that.
But even the following, I'm not sure how late or how much quaffing of ale and how much actual drinking of ale you do, but the following day, nursing, maybe possibly nursing or not nursing hangovers. We'll.
Don't do hangovers. The trouble is, you see, I think the beer's a bit watery because you have to drink gallons of it before you feel anything.
When we shall fade away and fade back on the characters to find them seated around a table. A tearful male Barrett basically talking to you, clutching her baby Vera to her chest in one hand and clinging to the back of her son's errand shirt with the other, and she tells you the awful tale that's basically that for the last every night since the raid, Erin, her son's howls of terror, sent Petal, their dog, into a barking fit, and every time herself or her husband went to investigate, Erin claimed a goblin came out of his closet. Her husband Aldegast checked the closet dutifully but found nothing. And ever since, the kids' complaints about the closet goblin have grown more and more tiresome to us. But yesterday, my husband finally threatened to make Erin sleep in the woodshed if he couldn't learn to be a man and sleep through the entire night without crying and telling stories. But last night, Aldegast didn't even go to soothe Erin when he had his night terrors. But then, a few moments later, we heard poor Petal the dog cry out in pain, and Erin's screams turned shrill. At this, Emil pauses and takes a breath. At this point, she shows you her son's arms. They're covered in fresh goblin bites. When my husband bursts into the room, he found a goblin crouched on his son's chest. Petal was dead, and the goblin was frantically trying to chew off Erin's arm. Eldergast attacked the goblin and chased it back into the closet, where it clambered into a hole it had cleverly hidden under the old fur. Eldergast flew into a rage as he started tearing apart the closet in an attempt to get the goblin. I'm afraid I panicked and fled the house with the children to find you for help. Please, help my husband.
Yeah, see, that's goblins for you. Yeah, if you get them to the hole, the little buggers won't come out. We'll have to go and dig it out a hole. How'd you get a goblin out of a hole, Radek?
Usually, you stick your arm in and yank it out.
I want to heal the boy first, and I'm also absolutely livid with the boy's father.
Indeed. In fact, your description of the tale you're told is so vivid you are able to actually picture the scene. It's just too nice a piece of art not to show.
That is cool.
I'm going to give the boy potion of minor healing to drink.
Okay, you do so, and the mother thanks you profusely as all the wounds and bite marks vanish off her son's arm.
Well, lead the way. Let's have a look, see what's going on.
Yes. Yes, let's.
When you arrive at the Barrett house, you find it disturbingly silent.
Could Jelsa maybe sneak into the hole?
That should be small enough. Where's boy's room?
Well,
I
what's
could
going to
sneak
get
in with her if I
I'll
changed
already
it.
be way ahead of you.
I've even got sound effects for this one, called Goblin in the Closet. But it's not happening right now because it's disturbingly quiet. Aaron's room is upstairs at the back of the house.
Okay.
This is a theatre of the mind encounter.
Well,
do we all go up? How does the thing get out? Does it go down through the floors? I mean, up a chimney? I mean, so long as it doesn't escape. I thought we split up, cover the avenues of escape, and then maybe Chelsea goes in and scares it out or whatever.
Oh dear. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all, is it? You're probably splicing yourself. What is a backlash? Or they don't. What are the backlashes when you critically fail? Other than the fact you cost PowerPoint, I can't remember. For sorcery, is there a special backlash for sorcery? And if you're talking, I can't hear you.
It's fatigue, isn't it?
I think it might be. I don't think there's dynamic backlashes to worry about, is there?
Causes a level of fatigue and all currently active powers instantly terminate.
Yep. Critical failure workers, spells miss fast, see backlash on page 169, which I think will say what you just said.
Points are spent.
I think failing to cast a spell success means the power activates and consumes all the power points allocated, even if it misses the target arrays. A backlash, critical failure, all instant powers are accidentally terminated.
Yeah, causes a level of fatigue and all currently active powers are instantly terminated.
Indeed. I think it used to cost you...
PowerPoint.
No, maybe in Pathfinder it doesn't, because it used to be you lose you lost one power point, didn't you, for failing to cast, but obviously it doesn't say that.
Yes, it does. Second sentence of the first paragraph under activation.
Failure means the power doesn't activate. You spend one power point regardless, yeah. Unless the ability specifically says it reduces the minimum to 0. So if you get channeling, you don't spend power points when you fail to cast. So you lose one power point and you critically fail, and therefore you find yourself Fatigued is basically the spell doesn't work. It's obviously the fear and worry and everything else that's going on in the world. So you're all standing outside the ominously quiet house. Arena basically is trying to cast something. It's possibly jostled or something happens as she miscasts it, and the wave of the miscast magic overwhelms her, and she finds herself with a splitting headache.
What was the husband's name? It began with A as well.
Alagast.
So when the doors opened, Rannick is going to call out, Alagast.
Are you heading
Alagast,
you're heading upstairs.
Alagast, you in there?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless somebody small and pink-haired runs past me first, I will go upstairs.
When you arrive, you find it storming quiet. Upon reaching Aaron's room, you find Alagast's Barrett sprawled out on his belly as if he crawled into the closet.
First thing Rannick does is turn around and make sure that his wife and children are not coming in.
They are not. They're still back at the Rusty Dragon with Abiko keeping them safe, I think we'll say.
Good. Oh, bugger, says Rannick.
I follow him in. Is the guy dead?
I'll roll him over to find out, because Rannick doesn't know
as you
much.
pull his body back,
Roll him
you
over.
find him quite dead. The flesh of his face and upper torso had been eaten away. Can I have spirit checks at -2, please?
I'm going to go with yes, he's dead.
Okay, so Arena. This is actually fear rather than thingy. So as it stands, everyone suffers fear. Unless you want to Benny it, of course.
Benny,
Let's go with the Benny then.
Yeah, we got too many bennies and not much time.
Fear is all traits at -1, isn't it? Let's create one.
You're going
Maybe
to
she
have to
critically
imagine me
failed.
for the rest of the session, I think.
Right, I'm prepared. I'm whatever. His face. He's got no face. Why has he got no face?
So, okay, at the end of this is Arena failed, Rannick failed, Dondrad
Conrad failed.
failed.
3 bennies later.
Everybody failed.
Yeah.
Did Bert fail? I rolled a 5. Is that?
-2, I'm afraid. So yes.
Okay. So let me.
He's got no head. I mean, that's just nasty. That's vicious. Do you know what I mean? I mean, how big is the
There we go.
goblin?
Okay, so
That got
Bert
like a
made it.
shark's head. I'm not worried about that.
What about Snookums?
Oh, yeah, Snookums need to. Where is Snookums? Snookums spirit. Snookums is trying to figure out if that's lunch or not.
Okay, right, that's fine.
Fear's actually fatigue from nausea.
It's not nausea though.
If it's terror,
Yeah.
if it's terror, then you roll on the fear table automatically.
It's not terror, it's fear, so it's just -1 to all trait rolls, isn't it?
On the fear rules, a failed fear check
There's fear.
means the unfortunate soul faces the consequences below, depending on whether the source of fear was grotesque or terrifying in nature.
Oh, so you all get to roll on the fear table, do you?
Well,
If
if
it's
the scene,
terrifying,
It wasn't. It wasn't terrifying. Well,
if the scene was grotesque or horrific, such as a grisly discovery or learning a secret man was not meant to know, the character is shaken and fatigued from the mental strain. Critical failure means you roll on the fear table as well.
oh well.
A terrifying creature is straight onto the fear table.
All right. So no, in that case, you are fatigued and shaken then. Okay. So I shall. So let's get rid of the fear checks because I don't need those then. See, this is the thing. I just remember. I'm too used to deluxe still. So that puts Arena up to -2 fatigue, I'm afraid. Thank you for checking that. And okay, so basically, Arena's shaken, Rannick's shaken, Dondrad's shaken. and Jels is shaken. Bert and Snookums are fine as basically a goblin commando bursts from the closet and attacks.
I'm taking control of Arena now because Kirsten's got to go to work.
Okie dokie. Well, that's okay. We're nearly done. Grezgert, unfortunately, gets to go first. He's going to go for you, Radit, because obviously you just took his food away.
Yeah.
And he misses. But I think I'm going to spend a penny on his rusty dagger. He hits you with his rusty dagger.
Oh.
Which it doesn't penetrate your tough... Why got toughness? Your armour. That's not a problem. Don't worry.
I've got
Dondrad.
toughness 11 because I'm a brawny orc that's also got brawler.
Yeah. Dondrad, you unshake.
Right, okay, this is just a wee bit naughty. Yeah, let's just assume this thing's got shark teeth, okay? Because it ripped off somebody's head. My delusion, I can keep it. Go away. No, you see me, no, you don't.
Blind.
So that's with a raise. Right, -2.
Certainly, he's blinded.
-2. I can't ignore it because I'm thinking.
Rennick.
Is it not? Sorry. So is it not? Is that?
He's blinded with a -2 to vigour to shake it off. Yep. Because you got the raise. Rennick, you recover from the shock of seeing this poor husband's half-eaten face and basically this goblin with rusty enough.
It's -4 with a raise.
Yeah, Rannick is not happy about this and is very, very angry with this goblin and wants the goblin to pay for it. So Rannick is going to do a wild attack, try and knock him out.
Okay, so it's -4, but not at -2 to shake it off because that's a separate effect, isn't it? That's strong. I got it the wrong way around. I apologise. Okay. Knock it. You're going to try and knock him out.
Yep, I'm going to try and knock him out because I want him to be taken to the sheriff to come to justice, for want of a better term.
I'll make justice kill him.
That's exactly what's going to happen, but I want it to happen in the right way.
You hit him.
No gang up bonus from Dondrad. Probably not going to get me to a raise anyway, though, is it? No, not by a long shot.
You shake him.
Spend that.
3 wounds. I'll spend one of his bennies on that. Which means he soaks it down. But it takes 3 wounds, but he's still up.
Okay, that will do.
Because of the blind, he didn't get to soak it. Arena recovers from being shaken.
Arena, we found the goblin. Lethal or non-lethal? Arena, on the other hand, is going to grab her sword and have at him.
Okay, go for it.
I need to reach the other laptop.
I can do it.
You can do it. Go on then.
She draws her katana and slashes at the goblin. Getting an exploding dice. Missing. I think she'll Benny that, won't she?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oops.
Oh, dear.
The Grisgurt is jumping all over the place because he can't see anything, and unfortunately he stumbles over Raddick just as Arena hits you.
Ouch.
Fortunately, it doesn't penetrate your toughened hide, but
yeah,
you're having a bad day today.
Okay, is there room for both me and Snookums to get in there?
Probably. Well, he's out of the closet, so he's staggering around the room. Yes.
Okay, then I will start by moving up to chop at it with my sword.
5 will miss.
Oh, 5 misses. Let's go ahead and Benny that. There we go.
14 hits with a raise.
Forgot the raise die. Dang it. I will Benny that.
Well, that's enough to put him down. He's got no armor
Is it?
or anything.
Okay.
I will spend my last penny on it, though. Which is not going to be enough because he's blinded and he goes down. You kill the goblin.
I squish his skull to be sure.
And with one final growl, the goblin dies.
Yeah, sorry, I lost the plot there. He was a bit. I lost that thing that said missing. That person. Yeah, I thought panicked a bit there.
I'm going to take the sheet off or a blanket off the child's bed and wrap it round father's body.
Indeed.
And I'm going to take the body straight to the chapel.
Well, now that you guys have got the thing killed, Joseph's climbed into the closet to check out how they're coming through.
Right. Well, yes. So let me see now what happened. He found his full frantically hacked open, large enough to fit in, pulled off. Okay. Basically, it looks like there's just, when you look in the closet, there looks like there's a tiny little hidey hole underneath the closet. So he was in the crawl space under the house. So it was on the ground floor actually. So yeah, basically
Probably just escaped from the big fight, and then he's probably been living there and eating rats. Whatever.
He basically found a loose not you know, but he found a loose floorboard in the closet, frantically hacked an opening large enough to fit into the enclosed space under the house, and poured the fur over the hole to cover it. And obviously, the only problem he had was obviously he was going to leave later on after he recovered everything. But of course, there's a dog in that house, and goblins don't like dogs; they're scared of dogs. Every time Gresgog tried to sneak out, the dog was there barking. So he apparently subsisted on worms and plucked dirt from the floor. And eventually he got more and more angry and basically killed the dog and basically... but he'd broken his horse chopper. So that's what was left of his dagger. He made a crude little knife from his broken horse chopper. Killed the dog and tried to eat the boy. That's basically it. But yeah, so you take the body to the chapel.
And somebody needs to let the sheriff know what's happened as well.
Indeed, Sheriff Hemlock, when was told, takes in the scene with his customary grim expression. He thanks you for helping, and he arranges for the Barrett family to stay at the cathedral for a few days. He knows that Emil's got he knows that the wife's got a sister in Magnamar, and obviously he'll get word to her. And as I say, it's Emil's very thankful that you helped out until she learns upon her husband's fate.
I'm so sorry.
Where she
I'm so very, very sorry.
Where she has a complete breakdown, I'm afraid, and is led away. A couple of days later, it would appear you happen to be you get word that the family are leaving for Magnamar with a sister, and whether do you wish to sort of be in the area or do you want to stay away?
Rannick wants to be there to apologise to them again if she went away in massive tears when he was trying to say he was sorry he didn't get there earlier.
Yeah, Bert will be there before. As well.
Okay. As you're there, you are present when the sister arrives to collect. Well, when the sister arrives to collect her sister's broken family, as it were, and when she notices you there and asks, and Emil sort of says something to her, and she glares at you with cold, dark eyes, and as she leads her sister and the broken family away, she just looks at you and says, "Too bad your heroes weren't a bit more thorough in your heroing, isn't it?"
Aye. You're right, it is.
I'm not entirely sure how you're supposed to on that one, but that's the unfairness of it all. But I think,
I'm sorry.
but I think that is where we shall leave it today. You've had some successes and you've had some misfortunes, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway.
Yes,
So
great fun.
And when Jelsa hears the sister say that, she's going to go, too bad parents don't pay more attention to their children.
Fair enough. That's Jelsa all over.
Mm.
But I've got a nice handy amount of bugs to fix from today, so I'm glad on that front. So thank you for that.
Tell you what, though, I've had a rake through things, and I'm quite spectacular. I think it's quite spectacular. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's quite nice. I quite that. I like that. I like that inventory halving thing. And yeah,
Yes.
it's really come along. It's come along.
Yep. Well, as I say, yeah, where were we? So yeah,
ability seem to be working spot on at the minute as well.
yeah. So mystic backgrounds are in there. Extra cards, armor interference. Not that any of you get it, but armor interference is built in. Backpacks halving the contents. Load strength, so you can increase your encumbrance. And what I'm currently working on, which is why I've got to rewrite half the module, because basically at the moment, you know, if you look in the library, you've got class edges, class abilities, and class restrictions. Class abilities and class restrictions will be gone when it's finished. You won't need them, because basically when you pick the edge, it will literally add all the abilities and restrictions in automatically.
See when you get to the Pathfinder core rules and you scroll down, I take it the duplicate entries are just a wee aberration at the minute.
What duplicate entries?
Well, everything from, I think, let's see, encounters, magic, weapons, and then you have kit, and then you have magic range weapons, magic ammunition, magic items, allies, tables, encounters, and kit again.
That's something interesting for you. I think I'm not seeing that, fortunately. So
I'll take a wee screenshot. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I'm not seeing that. But yeah, all the magic items are in there. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've done today. Literally putting all of those in, every single one of them. Which, of course, for you guys will just show up with all their non-ID names, I suspect.
In the items, yes.
Yeah, should be interesting. So, but there we go. But I'll get the module updated there, and I've got a fair few things to fix on the rule set. But I don't think any of the new stuff didn't break today, so that's looking good. So soon I get this done. Possibly, if all goes well, might actually get this sent off to QA at the end of this week. The core rules. So yeah, we're getting there. But yeah, we shall leave it there. Thank you